Beans. Hey, welcome back to the Metropolitan Grid. My name's Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It is the 22nd of November, which... Am I muted? Am I muted? It's the boy. What's up, Vincent? Am I muted? There's no way, right? No, we're not muted. I got it right the first time. Welcome. It's the 27th of November, and to the American audiences, happy Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving in America, so yes, you are muted. Dite, am I actually? Tobo, how's it going, by the way? Vincent, how you doing? Of course you are. Oh boy. Welcome. We got a stream tonight. Admittedly, not probably that many people on the servers playing the Netrunner tonight, specifically in the time zone that we're in, due to the fact that there's that Thanksgiving dinner a lot of people here have. So we'll see how that goes, but otherwise it should be okay. And I just want to open with, yo, Chris, how's it going? Happy Merca Thanksgiving Turkey Day. Also, Peter Rockwell, nah, I can hear you. How's it going, Peter? I wanted to shout out because we said we would do this, so might as well preload this on the stream. I'll mention it later on. Yo, Mark Andre, what's up? I'll mention this later on again for those who tune halfway. But this is mostly for the VOD if you watch the beginning. Maybe you skipped the beginning, right? Just get to the gameplay. Yeah, so I got a friend. We used to play Netrunner together many moons ago. He stopped playing a couple years ago. His name is Matt. Matt's a nice dude, and Matt wants to he hasn't played Netrunner in years, and he understands that somebody would like the cards he has because he's not using them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a giveaway. What does Matt own in terms of cards? It's honestly a bit nebulous. He can't pin down a list because they're in a box somewhere and he couldn't be bothered. I think it is all of the first two cycles, which have rotated largely, but some cards are coming back. It might be the lunar cycle and maybe a bit of the next cycle. He has original core sets, he has creation and control, honor and profit, and maybe even the next thing. So it's a bunch of cards, some of them rotated, some of them still around, but you can have them for the low price perhaps of just shipping. He just wants someone to pay for shipping. This comes from the east coast of North America. So he's in New York City, so maybe that can color how expensive that'll be for you. Anyways, if you want to enter this, all you got to do is on the YouTube video, just write a comment. Just write a comment. Talk about specifically, just mention your favorite card that's rotated, because a lot of these cards have rotated. And just say why. And then next week at the top of the stream, I'll pick a name randomly. And we'll calculate the shipping, and then maybe Matt will give you some cards. Shout out to Matt. So maybe up half the Sanson. Yeah, I think that's probably about right. Also, Chris, how's it going? Glad to stream. Just got home from my family's Thanksgiving dinner. Hey, how's your dinner? Hope it's well. Happy holidays to Americans. Vincent, I'm entering the giveaway. You could do it, man. We could get Matt's cards. Hell, I'm going to enter, you know? I'll take it. So you got your eyes back. Yeah, yeah, I can wear contacts again, which is good. Feels nice. Rotated according to SC or FFG last most wanted list. A mixture of both. Like a bunch of the cards, very few. It's maybe like a handful of cards from the original when the first two cycles came back into the system core. But like a lot of that stuff still is rotated. If you want to look at what those are, still a lot of them. You know, there's still Netrunner cards. Like a really cool thing you could do with this is build a cube and have that permanently as a thing. But yeah. I don't know. It's probably pretty cheap cards. They're hard to get. So I'm actually hoping that a new player gets this, not someone who's like just hunting for a cube. But, you know, do what you want. Oh, you got Vitruviuses. Those are fun. Oh, wow. Look at all these cards. You got Eli. The boy's back. That's a good one. Stronger Together. Still in it. Ash is good. Fetal is good. A lot of these cards still in the game. Ronin's good. Okay, so it's probably still a bunch of free cool stuff. And by free, I mean pay for shipping. RP is here, Trickle-Light is here, Hokusai is here, Beal is here. Oh, this is a good cycle. Pop-up window is here. Wow, Flare is here. Wow. This one isn't. Wow. Bernice isn't, right? That's wild. Atlas is definitely here. Caduceus, this card's gone. I think that's probably a good thing. Caduceus is around. We're literally going to go through the whole cycle. Overstate AI is back. All these neutral agendas are trash. I'm surprised this wasn't back. This is a good, little good dragon, you know. And then a bunch of these cards like Ret Run, and you can make wizard playmats and stuff like that. I don't know. Imp is around. Morningstar left. Same as Nerve Agent. This is a good one. Xanadu is still around. Scrubber's around. Look. Oh, that's a good one too. There's cards. There's cards you could have thanks to Matt. This one's back too, huh? 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 Wow, but Nisei rotated almost the whole TD, so that's in there too. I don't think Terminal Directive is in there because he stopped playing probably before Data and Destiny. Maybe there's even Data Destiny and a lot. Look, it's a surprise. People, you get these YouTube videos that come up on recommendations like, wow, I bought $200 worth of Amazon returns on bulk from some company that processes returns. What did I buy? And you're buying like random electronic garbage. Some of it's like real expensive stuff that people return for no reason. Imagine that like this. Like, oh, I bought a random loot box of Netrunner cards. Anyways. How's it going, Nick? Here's a really good crowdfunding max deck. This is the thing that I never fully understood, is that people think, well, not people think, but people say that crowdfunding is like incredibly strong and maybe even broken. And here we have a max deck apparently within it. I don't get it. I don't think for 3 influence, ever is crowdfunding worth 3 influence. Why am I wrong about that? Yo, Nick, how's it going? Caddy, I think, is there. Caddy is definitely there. Caddy is a good one. Like, this is not worth 9 influence. This card, let alone a max, like, you already get free card draw. Why are you running 3 times a turn? Why? Feel salty already, huh? I was misunderstanding something, no worries. Oh, no, it's all good, Dite. That's really good, actually. We explained this. Yo, Nick, what can you tell me about this list? Because I don't fully get it. Count Siphon was worth 4 influence. Yeah, that was a good card, huh? Count Siphon was a good one. This is like, not sold. Hey, Brick, what's up? I've been having a lot of fun pawning crowdfunding and criminal now that Hostage is around. Yeah, hey, unfortunately Steve Cambridge is no longer in the like standard format for Nisei stuff, but like, man, finding a single Aesops. That being said, Brick, though, still in the format, there's a lot more hate for against connections, so that's kind of hard too. Count 7 was literally the strongest runner card. Yeah, that's probably correct. Yeah, that's definitely correct. Anywho, if you're new to this stream, how's it going? I know there's a lot of new people playing Netrunner as of recent. It's pretty easy to get into. We've got a new system core, which is actually designed specifically at newer players, and I think the player experience is pretty great. We talked a bit about it last week when we got to play the corp side, and now the runner side is out. We're going to be talking about that a bit later today, but things look good. Things look pretty cool. There's also some announcements about a new most wanted list and a rotation. And this brings us to our first point, which was wild because I didn't realize this. Firstly, there's not a lot of games on JNet tonight, so I'm kind of stressed about finding a game. Hopefully, maybe we'll queue up with each other. But with the American holidays, not a lot of people playing here. Like, these 2 games are largely shouldn't be considered. So there's only like 4 games going on, which, you know, there's like 8 people playing Netrunner tonight. I was asked, what are the cards that you missed from Terminal Directive? So Terminal Directive is an expansion that largely, I honestly didn't like as an experience. If you want to watch something, look on Trace 5, which is a cool Netrunner channel. It used to be a Teamwork Cast back in the day. But they have a really good video. It's like an hour long, and it's well made, about an in-depth review about Terminal Directive. And it largely talks why Terminal Directive was kind of a misfire in many people's books, mine included. Hey, Christian, how's it going? I'm a really nice dude, Christian. Check that out if you want. There's some minor spoilers if you haven't played it. Mind you, it's like a legacy type campaign where you put stickers on things. This might be a spoiler. Maybe I jumped into that spoiler. Maybe look away. Don't look at that. But that whole box set has rotated. Corporal Kurtz is asking if there are any cards that you missed from Terminal Directive. Some of them got saved. I think the best ones got saved. If I read the numbers, there's 57 cards in this box, and 11 of them got ported into the System Core 2019. Let's go check what's gone, because that's actually an interesting place to start. Yo, Josegi, what's up? Nice catching you tonight. Thanksgiving is problematic, but enjoying the day off with my family. Yeah, it's a weird-ass holiday. I don't think many people celebrate, like, the whole pilgrim thing anymore. I think they just do it for the family thing. So, yeah, well, its roots are definitely problematic. Yeah, at least maybe if you're with family, that's a cool thing to do. I don't think it has to be tied to that old fucked up shit where we killed a lot of people, huh? Hey, my name is not Billy. Hey, catching the stream live for a change. I'll watch until I fall asleep. It's late here in the UK. Hey, have a good evening. Hopefully you sleep well. I'm glad to be part of the sleeping process. Cheers. Thanks for dropping by the way. Good words. Hey, Spark, how's it going? Steve was my favorite ID. That's a good place to start. Mind you, Steve Cambridge is no longer part of the game. At least for the Nisei, like, you know, the thing. Feels like his tempo-based, event-heavy gameplay was the most satisfying and exemplary criminal style, really punishing the corp for letting them into HQ. Don't know why they put Leela, historically home of the cheesy decks that don't interact with ice at all, in the core set instead. I feel you with that. I think a big thing that's going to change how Leela is played is that Gang Sign is rotating really soon, because Gang Sign is part of Sansan, if I'm not mistaken. And without Gang Sign, I think Leela decks actually have to play a bunch more proactively and a bunch more planning. Leela prior to Gang Sign was actually a really fun matchup, and you could see that like that endless waltz type play, that sort of like 1-2 punch where it'd be like, okay, I'm gonna do this to Forky to do this to do this. The fact that also power cards like mind you, like indexing have rotated, have made Leela a bit less strong, because she sometimes has those turns where you install advance or remote and she just needs to find that agenda. That being said, I've no doubt that you can just find Leela decks that just run R&D interface instead, and those have been classically pretty oppressive. If any turn they can run R&D and see 3 cards, the chance of you scoring a 5-3 agenda in the server is like pretty difficult. But Steve Cambridge, who has rotated, is a very interesting idea. I give you that. It's very, very interesting, very, very strong, mind you, with cards like Dean List. No, it's not right. With our Wolf Boy, DJ Fenris. And this one is gotten a lot stronger too, because Hostage is back in the format, which is this card that is back from the original cycle. Oh no, second cycles. Yeah, I don't know. Recursion is generally, that's something that should be limited in games, and Steve Cambridge's pseudo infinite recursion, and that is kind of scary for design, but it never seemed problematic flat out, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I don't know about Leela. You're right. Maybe Steve is more interesting than Leela. That being said, I think Leela is really fun to teach new players too, because it's fun. You got to think in the future. That's kind of cool. Without Gang Signs, she'd probably be more fun, huh? Warlander TV, what's up everyone? How's it going? I don't know where you're from. Maybe in America, happy Thanksgiving. If not, it's a good Thursday, ain't it? Anthony played single core set Nisei last night. It was a lot of fun. Definitely made me think about how Netrunner can shine with a smaller card pool. It's really fun with a smaller card pool. Let me tell you, you probably have a bit, like, the system core is balanced to be played with one box against another one box. I think so far in my experience, it's been a really fun format. What were you playing? Chasner, I love cooking. How's it going? Maui, what up? Leela with account siphon was strong. She was. It's crazy how strong account siphon was, and diversion of funds, how it hasn't been that big of a deal, as much as it is pretty big. Maybe criminal is missing a bit more. Nick says, not to mention, if you like crowdfundings, wind up and trash, who cares? I've had turns where I run 3 times and then with 6 cards in hand, crowdfunding and clickless install. Yeah, that's true with Max. If she gets them into the bin so you can install them, I just don't see that ever being worth 3 influence. So I don't know. And so Andre, how did you get invited in the Artifact beta as a streamer? How did you not? I honestly, it's so hard to find information how to get invited into the Artifact beta. I recently purchased it after they've said that they made changes to their sealed, or to their draft format, because you used to have to pay draft, and now you can play infinitely for free, which seems like a big deal. Otherwise, fuck that game. I don't know. I honestly don't know how to get in the beta, but I technically own the game. I thought that was enough to do it. Maybe I should have asked. My brand manager's been doing a really shit job, let me tell you. Fuck. I would not be surprised to see Steve come back at some point. Yeah, maybe. Maybe Steve will just be a connection with that text, and it'll be called DJ Fenris. I don't know. I'm a Canadian as it gets, still eating turkey, eh? Yeah, that's not a bad thing. I've actually spent many mid-Novembers with American friends living in Canada. We would do a turkey. It's really fun. Also, Anthony's down in Atlanta. Ezra, how's it going? Happy Thursday. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm just going to answer this question before we dive into the deck list of the week, which is honestly a retread of what we did last week. That's how much of a market impact we have. Thank you, my brand manager. So if you don't know, these 57 cards, I think about a sixth of them got saved into System Core. Everything else is considered rotated as of 21st of December, I think, which just in time for the holiday season. Cards that I will miss. Kind of, Steve. Not this one. Very few of them. So this is wild. This is like a whole kit of breakers. You got the 3 grifter, the con men breaker. They're all con men, I suppose. And we kept Abigail and Damara, but we didn't keep Lustig, which is kind of weird. Considering sentries are cool. Now these breakers, I played one of each of them specifically in a Geist deck, but Geist is going to rotate soon, so maybe I don't have to worry about that. All these cards I don't like. This card I very much don't like. This card never got played. This is another really strong R&D pressure single card, and that's huge that this rotates because there's no more in the game. Indexing rotated, deep data mining rotated, so now all your R&D multi-axis is cards like R&D interface, which is now back. Shoutouts to the Matt thing, and like Niacea and stuff like that, which is wild. That's super wild. A lot of these cards never really mattered. Ubax is interesting. I never played it. I thought it was boring. And out of these, actually, Savant is a pretty reasonable breaker, and I've seen a fair bit of cool builds that use this. I'm kind of upset Degdir and Egret rotated as much as I've never played Egret. Degdir is a card I played a fair bit. I think it's very interesting. It works in really fiddly super installing decks I play all the time, like Exile and stuff like that. From what I've heard, that this was a very strong consideration for System Core, but didn't make the cut at the last minute. I think Akamatsu took his place. Oh, this card, huh? Laguna Velasco District is interesting because it rotated. That actually really lowers the power value of like a lot of like Haley Shaper decks. It's a very good card for 2 influence. Instead, we have Professional Contacts in a System Core. But like this card, I don't know. This card is like 1 Faust away from being like in every single deck. And even if you play this card and spend your first click drawing, right? Like at that point, it's just Wildside. And that's kind of nuts. That not enough people played it. Like people used to play Wildside, which is cheaper, but you don't have a choice here. Yeah, you can play it with your adjusted chronotype and stuff like this, but like this could be Wildside for you, and that's pretty wild. Hell no. Okay. This is a big deal that Dean List is rotating. Again, Geist is rotating, but you no longer consider across the table for someone playing just like Amokua and a single Dean Lister, and then they don't need to like worry about anything for the whole game. So like, yeah, this card is actually probably shouldn't exist. It's really cool that biometric spoofing is rotating, so only every single card in Netrunner only has a single art on it. And the Shadow Net is actually probably, is this in the System Core? Am I missing something? I think this is good. Oh, Maker's Eye is still in it. Excuse me, I'm missing Maker's Eye. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's the only one. Excuse me. I think this card potentially can be abused by a lot of decks. You see a lot of decks that do. I think this card rotated, and in its place we have Data Dealer for 1 influence. Which a lot of times people use that, or 2 influence, wow. A lot of times people use this like Data Dealer, but they also just spam stim hacks and do a lot of like crazy recursion stuff you wouldn't want them to do. I would assume that the Shadow Net, once you play the event, you should have to remove it from the game. I think that's a really good way to balance this card. I think any card that replays a card from your heap or just does any sort of recursion should remove itself or the card it plays from the game. I think that's fair, and it prevents anything from like being recurred all the time. You saw some of the worst like degenerate quote-unquote decks from the history of Netrunner. We're all just focused on like recurring really strong events over and over again. I think I'm just talking about Account Siphon at this point. Fuck this card. Holy shit, this card was dumb. This is still in it, which is good. This card is banned and should be banned, and now it's gone. That's great. This card's great. None of these ice saw print, and this came out, well, I don't know, this one's generally the most interesting one, but all these cards were specifically have typos on them. They're just, I don't know, and let alone they didn't see play, so I don't think anyone's going to miss them. This card got a lot better without paperclip for what it's worth, but with Eli 1.0, no, I don't even think it's worth it. Yeah, this one's interesting. Didn't play enough of it. I don't like these cards. Oh, the brain damage deck got worse, huh? And Mason's actually still in, which is cool. I've never seen a good. Oh, okay, this is gone. Everyone's happy. Okay, everyone's happy. Everyone's happy. Everyone's happy. This is actually kind of a big deal for Titan Fast Advance. This doesn't. None of these cards really saw play. This is probably the best ice that rotated by far, even though this is not a very popular ice. This sort of trashing ice actually gets a lot better if you see people like rotating to things like Corroder and Mimic as opposed to Paperclip and MK Ultra. Mind you, Paperclip is now a restricted card, so Anarchs are going to have to start making tough choices. So actually, this ice might be more relevant than it's ever been. This doesn't matter. This is saved, which is huge. Generally everyone thought fuck this card when it came out, and when it was revealed, and I felt the same way. Man, I've been swearing a lot. Yeah, I'm not sad to see this go. I'm not sad to see this go. This is actually more meaningful and then none of these cards have ever really mattered, have they? Oh, this one's saved. This one's good. So not a lot. Like, I don't honestly care that much for Terminal Directive. I really don't. Which is not a big deal. Again, I highly recommend you to watch Trace5's video about the Terminal Directive, because I agree with it, and it's really well made, and it's actually pretty funny too. Yeah, that's great. I'm a huge fan of armored servers for some reason because it's fun with Komainu for free fat lines. That's specifically Celestial, the one card that I got so many requests from people being like, hey, build a kill deck that uses this in like Titan Transnational and what have you. And it always came down to the same thing. It's like, okay, I'm building a deck, but like the stars have to align in a way for this to work. And then it doesn't even feel interactive. It's just like, oh, you can jack out. So I made like a worse Nisei token. It's really hard to make work. Thank heavens Corpse is gone. Yeah, right? Degdeer and Egret were two of my favorite cards, says my name is not Billy. My Wu deck relied on Degdeer and my Kit deck relied on Egret. Sad to not be able to play either of those decks in Standard from now on. Yeah, I feel you. And that's like the thing is you gotta be kind of mindful about this, right? Like there could be some negativity about cards rotating and cards leaving, right? Because this is only terminal directive, but a lot of cards from the original core set, from the revised core set are no longer with us. And I think one of the really big deals is that we are not currently in the mind state, or at least I'm not, of constant rotation. We've only experienced one rotation in Netrunner's history, which was just a year ago, and after that we were meant to expect regular rotations. There was meant to be another rotation right now, and for what it's worth, I think the rotation we're expecting now, in which Sansan and Lunar Cycle are to rotate, is actually going to be the most meaningful rotation in all of Netrunner, and it's going to have the rotation where most people lose things that they've really, really, really liked about this game. For instance, Geist is going, or Haley is going, and that's a really big deal for a lot of people. The thing with the first cycle, and they've gone on record to talk about this specifically, is that it was below curve. Lucas Litzinger, who rebooted the game and designed the first 4 or 5 cycles, don't quote me on that. I think Lucas did to Mumbad, so 5 cycles, I guess. He said the first cycles he was purposely designing under power level cards, and we still have some really strong cards in there just because they always wanted the core set to be relevant, and they did not want they didn't want to do power creep, right? They didn't want to have to sell you. It's like, oh, if you don't buy this $15 pack, you're no longer competitive, stuff like that. I think that's noble. I think you generally want to go somewhere in the middle where cards generally build horizontal, not vertical. So you want to go for options, not power level. But that's obviously like super naive to think that's easy. You know, that's the ideal, but it doesn't always work out that way. Anyways, like when these cycles rotated, like you saw when we went through them, so many of these cards were never really regularly played in most either fun decks or in any constructed level like strong decks, right? Like competitive decks. How do I see full cards? Oh, that's an option. So like this rotation wasn't that meaningful. Like a lot of these cards rotated and nobody noticed. Right? Like, okay, people noticed about this, but like rework rotated, no one cared. Rural Valley rotated, very few people cared, not no one. This card, largely there's better versions of it that exist in the card pool. That being said, now the rotation that we were expecting, that's a huge rotation because all the big cards rotated. Yo, Jim, what's up? Jim says Jackson. Yeah, Jackson's actually the biggest deal for sure, but that was the only really big. There's like a couple cards that were really big, but it wasn't the most of them. It was very few of them that we relied on. Like Jackson was a big deal, Wizard and Andromeda were a big deal, and I'm probably forgetting a bunch more. I don't even think Caddy was quintessential at the time rotation hit. I think the meta was too fast for her. Jinteki losing their 3-2 kind of neutered Tenon. Yeah, I could see that. It looks like they wanted to go Jinteki more on an install advanced type play. Not like that, but that's the thing is Spark is while they might have lost their 3-2, it allows Nisei to print a new 3-2 for Jinteki. I think that's a big thing that they're probably going to respect in the design space of Netrunner is that every faction looks to only have one 3-2. Now, Jinteki has shipment for Philotic Entanglement, which is a 1 of per deck, but there's no doubt that Nisei will consider running a 3-2. The thing about Brain Trust, anyways, is by far the worst 3-2 in the whole game, and it only sees play because it is a 3-2, and that kind of sucks, right? You generally want your cards to be interesting. I've only over advanced this once in playing the game in 6 years, and even then it wasn't very meaningful in the game. It's just something I was like, let's see how this goes. So anyways, Merger makes the difference. Yeah, I guess Merger's still around. Doesn't that rotate too real soon? Anyways, what it's trying to say is that I don't think we're ready for, I don't know, myself, I'm not that used to rotation, and this rotation is going to be the worst one, and then people are going to, you know, I expect some people to be more upset about it because this like large rotation, this more meaningful rotation is not happening by the hands of FFG, but by the hands of Nisei, which is a community initiative, and they might not feel like, you know, they have the right to carry the torch. Or I don't know. So far they're doing a good job. I'm excited to see what they do, but you know, people are always going to be upset when it just looks like, oh, I could do this myself, which you know, it's pretty hard to do it. What they're doing a lot of stuff. Anyways, look, a lot of cards. It's gonna happen. Rotation is fine. Change is good. Chesner, I feel you with that, and I agree with that. I regrettably play a bit of Hearthstone, and Hearthstone has a rotation every year, and that's a really cool thing, and I'm used to that. I know that there's certain cards I'll like, and they'll go to a wild format. That's what they call it in Hearthstone, a format called wild, which is just basically you can play whatever you want that's ever come out in the game. I don't play it because it's just busted as fuck, and you need a lot of really good cards that existed 6 years ago. I'm not gonna buy them. Hearthstone's so expensive. But rotation is good. It lets you play with new things. New cards are going to be coming up. You'll be excited. Hopefully in a month when there's new cards. That's cool. Maybe not excited now. I don't know. Newer system core looks cool. Omewa Mo Shindiru. We played this last week, and we played against only criminals with expose, and it was not a fun time for us. It probably wasn't even a fun time for the criminal because they were just confused, and then they would expose their card that we double advanced and thought, oh, I see you have no strategy against my deck. I guess we're going to do it again. We don't have to plug it in because it's already in there. And this is the beginning of the new wild thing of JNet, is where you have to write what format you're playing in. And now I have to check whether this fits into a format. Is this a standard deck? I don't think it is because it has false lead in it. So how do we play this online? Speaking of cards from 6 years ago, any thoughts on the Eternal format? Yeah, so I don't know. It feels like we're talking a lot about this now. I wanted to talk more about it later, but there's a whole bunch of formats on JNet. I'll show you. When you hit new game, you get this drop-down menu, and I don't know what some of these mean. I really don't. Now, unfortunately, the Nisei article, they mentioned it in a previous article, but like the article explaining all the formats, it doesn't explain all of them yet. It just says at the bottom, coming soon, information on internal snapshot and other formats. So if I'm guessing, which is really good for someone who makes content that people watch to put out improper information, I'm going to wildly guess at this until chat corrects me that I'm wrong. Eternal is every card ever that's been made. So if you have a Netrunner card that was printed on cardboard, that's largely the only rules here, and you didn't print it yourself. Am I interested in playing that? Not entirely. There's a lot of cards that have been rotated or most wanted list or banned from the games for good reason, because they're really shitty design. If I'm not mistaken, Eternal is the one format that you can play Cipher Parasite Account Siphon in, and that doesn't seem fun. Is it fun to play busted things against busted things? I generally always wanted to play League of Legends more than I wanted to play Dota, so maybe that answers that, huh? Scares me that there's 7 formats now. It makes it hard for teaching new players. Yeah, this is like super intimidating. It really is. I'm also worried that, like, there's not a lot of games tonight, but that's largely because of the holiday in America. But yeah, this is kind of buck wild. I have no doubt there's going to be an explanation more about what this is, and you generally see like most people are playing standard. It's cool. People are playing core experience. That's really cool. But like, I don't know. You can make a new UI. It's like, hey, you're a new player. Maybe we default this to core experience. I don't know. But it's kind of going to be seen whether the community is big enough of this game to support a lot of formats. I'm a bit apprehensive about that. I think Nisei kind of wants to just provide a lot of different formats, just so everyone's happy. But like, I don't know. I'm assuming that 90% of all play will be standard play, so maybe it doesn't matter that much. Or show us the Sundew if you're taking a risk. I'd love to hear Andre comment on Eternal like of other players. Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming that's what Eternal means, Jim. Is it means play whatever you want, but like without bans and everything. Bans are good for the game because bans are dumb. Like there's a lot of dumb cards banned from this game. I don't want to play against them. I don't want to play those. It doesn't feel fun for me. I don't care about Eternal. Would I watch an Eternal game? I would love to spectate an Eternal game and commentate it at some point, just so I could see someone playing Data League Reversal. Again, I like Data League Reversal. I actually played a fair bit of Data League Reversal. It's fun. Let's play this game. Oh, and now I gotta figure out which format we are. I can't play this. It's not a standard deck. What do I do? Vanadis banned on release. Yeah, I'm actually interested to see that card because I've never played it or never had it played against me. But Vanadis Salvaged Armory was banned on release. If you're new to this game, let me tell you, there was a section of there was like maybe 6 months to a year where all the cards that were printed were of dubious quality and they were filled with spelling mistakes and just they were fucked to shit, man. They were really bad. This is part of that era. They were really bad. Vanadis and Bug. It's bug out bag. Vincent, you're very much thinking of Burk bugs, which was also had to be banned on release, of course. I'm being facetious to newer players. This card is generally not considered to do much. Eternal had a small number of bans, such as Friends in High Places, but it's not even half the number of bans as the real MMO though. Oh wow, Eternal has bans. Is that list somewhere? What are the bans for Eternal format? I would like to see those. I don't know what those are. Okay, apparently there's a ban list for Eternal format, so maybe that will make it more palatable. But somebody mentioned Friends in High Places, which I forgot was a card, and I don't want to play against that one either, because it's not fun. Blame Damon for that. Yeah, I'm not even sure if that... Well, that cycle obviously was Damon's cycle, but like to me, to some extent, it feels like they just sent the wrong PDFs to the printer, considering how fucked up the typing was. I don't know. Biggest thing about TD rotating is the best step out of core set for new players. It's expanded the card pool in interesting ways for multiple factions. Jellyhead, I agree with you, but I also disagree with you because I think Terminal Directive is just full of crap. Largely, like the cards aren't that good. They're not that interesting, and they're full of typos and stuff. If I was to recommend something, I would recommend as a second purchase after a core set or a revised core set would be Rain and Reverie, because Rain and Reverie is dope. Rain and Reverie is a great box. It's the best Netrunner box ever made. The thing is, like, just like everything, though, it's hard to find. From what I understand, you can find Terminal Directive online for like $15 American because it didn't really sell well. Yo, Kevin, what's up? Oh, hey, we got a list here. Removed. Friends in High Places, Hired Help, Museum of History, Faust, Rumor Mill, Salvage Vanitas Armory, Cipher, Watch the World Burn. Okay, so most of the cards I complained about are on that list. That sounds pretty good. I hope R&R can fill the void, but I really don't know how. It's on the Nisei article. Does anyone have a list? I don't have a list of that article, and I'm talking about it, which is bad. That's bad. This is bad journalism, my friends. I disagree with that so hard. I think R&R was rushed and rehashed. What? What are you? How? How could you? Please tell me more. I disagree with that. I don't see how that could be the case. R&R was great. Deck format validation is not implemented properly everywhere on JNet. Some places will tell you your deck is invalid where it's valid. Oh, really? Oh, maybe it just doesn't check. Maybe that thing is only so it just like labels your room. It doesn't actually check your deck list. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. It's in the Nisei Replicating Perfection article close to the bottom. Okay, thank you. Found it. Oh shit, yeah. Thanks. Thank you. Since we are effectively creating this format, the Eternal MWL will be effective immediately. Okay, so cards that are out of it, Museum of History and Friends in High Places, two of the strongest recursion cards on the corp side. Faust, fine. Rumor Mill, that's weird. This card isn't even banned. Why is it banned in this format but not standard? Is it because Caprice Nisei is like in Jackson or everywhere? Why is this banned in Eternal? It's not banned in standard, is it? Yeah. What's with that? What's with that, chat? Move a sheet of paper over. So what's with that? Huh? Yeah, right, Nick? I assume it's because Caprice and Jackson. And it's not like a fun card. Rumor Mill just blanks your shit. There's very little counterplay to that. This card's broken. This card is... I don't know how this got printed. And then, of course, the cards that were made at FFG, at the Magnum Opus, which were never tested. So nobody wants to play those. Yeah, Saraswati is fun. Ochikan, what's up? Thank God no Cipher Turtles as the breaker suite in every deck. Yeah, you're gonna have to work a bit. No Cipher. That's good. Yeah, man, that card's right. It's restricted in standard. Yeah, it's restricted, but like it's not banned. Here it's like flat out banned. It's been removed. Yeah, it's definitely restricted. He says finding it. Yeah, it's definitely restricted, which is fine. And I honestly think for a couple months in the constructed sphere, like people were playing Rumor Mill in like their top tier Table 1 UK Nationals Valencia deck as opposed to like Employee Strike. Like that was actually a cool choice that people made. And I agree with it. It dealt with Rashida Yahim, which was like the big thing for a long time against like tempo things. But you know, it's fine. It's banned in Eternal. That's wild. The problem or good thing about Eternal type formats is they end up feeling nothing like the normal game. Yeah, wow. In Hearthstone, you just die on turn 7 to when they combo you out, and there's no counterplay. I assume there's a lot more counterplay in Netrunner because just the way the Netrunner is. So I don't know. The thing is, like, it's going to take someone to sit down. Like, you could easily build an Eternal deck, but if you want someone to make the format not fun and find the most broken deck, it's going to take some time. And we'll see. Because Blackmail, Rumor Mill, Vow would be really hard to beat. Oh, fuck me. Yeah, blackmail's in this format. You see, that's the thing about Eternal format and other formats. It's like, okay, I could see this being a thing. And then you remember that they printed a card at some point that you hated playing against, like blackmail or 3 copies. What is Astro errata to 1 per deck? How does this work? How does Eternal format work? Does anyone say the word Astro script on here? No. Is this a 1 of per deck? Because he didn't used to be. And I can play Sand City Grid and I can just lose to NEH on turn whatever. Yeah, anyways, blackmail sucked. There's so much Netrunner looking back on. It's like, wait, we used to play against NEH with 3 Sanson City Grid, 3 Astro, 3 Beal, and the runners won sometimes? What's with that? Or we used to play against Val with Blackmail and like Cipher Parasite, and that was like a thing. And I used to get salty as shit on YouTube. Man, it's been a long trip, my friends. It's cool to look back on it and be like, what are we doing? Man, the game's a lot better than it used to be, let me tell you. Restricted list of 1 is useless, so they bumped it up. Interesting. Okay. One thing I like about the Eternal format idea is that the newcomers to the game, like me, get to play with against cards that I know about but never had to deal with. Yeah, that's super cool. Like, again, shout out to Matt, who's giving away some cards this week. There's a lot of really cool cards in Netrunner. There's a lot of cards you'll never play with. What I think might be more interesting, no, not Billy, if you want to get into that sort of idea, find some old cards if you can, if you have them, if you printed them, if you proxy them, whatever, and build a cube. I find that to be more interesting if you do like things like cube draft or even sealed. Man, is this website still up? Check out A&R Sealed if you want to do this with some friends. It prints you out sealed packs. Apparently this goes up to Rain and Reverie, so it looks like it's everything. It prints you out sealed packs. You can choose rules with it, and you basically have to make cards out of the sealed packs. You can do drafts with your friends. You can do stuff like that. And I find this format to be more interesting if you just want to tinker with cards you've never played with. Because, like, I played draft formats and lost to games where Worm was the opponent's breaker. Like, you just get to such weird board states and such weird combination of cards where you do weird shit because it's the only way you can do it. And I find that to be maybe more fun and an easier way to do that. But you bring up a cool point that Eternal lets you play with so much of this large toolbox of over thousands of cards, which is cool. Tobel's saying Snake Draft, which is another cool option in which you make like this Excel spreadsheet and you exclusively draft. So now you can be the only person who drafts like this card, and then you go back and forth. You can Google what Snake Draft is. I've never done it myself. It's the same game. FAQ updates are all applied. Oh, okay. Astro would be a 1 of per deck. That errata is the official Nisei rules. Okay, cool. Thank you. I didn't read their document. I also know that they put out a what's it called? A code of conduct document. I haven't read it yet, but I saw there's a lot of conversations about it. Cube drafting is cool. Yeah, I like cube drafting. Do I know cube drafting? Yeah, I know what I like cube drafting. He says confidently. Got the first 2 cycles in the post. Really want to get some draft going here in Bristol. It's not that hard to do. My name is not Billy. You can even run a lot of those drafts, like snake drafts online. A lot of people do them on just like Google Docs, and then you don't have to all be there together. Like you can just have it up, and whoever's turn it is does the next slot. So like you can draft over a week largely, and then play some games online on JNet. Like there's some cool ways to do it. Obviously playing in person is generally preferable, but take what you can get. I like limited formats because it can make what is otherwise garbage a hype card. Yeah, Kevin, that's exactly the point, right? Like, losing to Worm feels good. It honestly does. It's pretty wild. But yeah, A&R Sealed, this is still up. This is a really good website. There's a lot of cool stuff with this. We played Sealed before on the channel. It's good. I don't know how to build this deck because it's no longer standard. Did we just not do it because we played it last week? Did we just skip the deck list a week? That doesn't feel unreasonable. We played it last week. And the false lead rotated. No, that was the only card that rotated, huh? Yeah. Yeah, it's the only one that rotated. Okay. Well, we'll make false lead to something else. Skip. Thank you. I give you permission. Skip it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Don't play Jemison Ever Jelly. Come on. It's my favorite. Why would you say that? Oh, man. I need to actually get around to building my cube. That's actually like a really cool thing to do. Like I have most of my rotated cards. They're just in a box somewhere. I might just go like buy whatever, 500 sleeves. By penny sleeves and just keep them cubed up. Just cube them up, leave them in a box somewhere. Your friends come over, pour yourself some. I don't know. You don't have to drink alcohol. Do whatever you want. Standard not being on R&D&B is a bit of a pain in the ass. Nick says, could be. Oh wow. Oh David, what have you done? Devadas is David from New Zealand. Really nice dude. Had the pleasure of meeting him last year at Worlds. He is running a lot of the, I don't know what his position is exactly, the title, but he's doing a lot of Nisei stuff. And apparently there's demo decks for each faction. Let's see how close ours is to whatever deck David built on Chrome, where decks work. I still love Firefox. I don't know why. You can't replace False Lead in this deck. OMG. I feel you, Jim. I don't think you're wrong. Okay, so we built a deck. We did Blue Sun, so we had a bit heavier eyes, but this is largely the same idea. You play your Punitives. We didn't play Archive. We played 2 Ash because that's how we win. We had one of each of these because they're fun. Seems pretty on brand. We did run a Hadrian's Wall because we're Blue Sun, and they're going for the Eli's as well as Spiderwebs. These cards are good value against Paperclip and no other breakers. Yeah, and then the Genesis Suite. Okay, that's pretty good. Did a pretty good job. David ripped us off. I haven't actually. Fuck it. Let's go through the court. Let's do it. I was going to do the news, but we're going to do this now. Where is it? I opened it. I prepared for this. I swear. Did I prepare for it in another window? Oh, here it is. So System Core, it exists, and there's a rotation guide, but there's also needs to be a list of what's in it, which should be here, maybe, I think. Fuck, where is it? Where's the list? Why you love the browser that doesn't work? I don't know. I don't like Chrome. Google just fucking watches you all day. Firefox, I don't know who they are, so they can't be evil, right? What is it called? What's in the System Core 2019 Netrunner? There's a list somewhere. I found the list. This will do it. It's another article. I just opened the same article. Is it just on here? Oh, it's a Google Doc. I found it. I found it. It's a big red link. Yeah, maybe. All right, so this is the System Core 2019. Hey, firstly, if you're new here, Netrunner just got a new core set, which is actually really targeted at newer players, which is super cool. If you're playing this game and you're new, I'm making direct eye contact with the camera, so it feels like we're having a conversation. That's pretty pleasant, isn't it? So we got a bunch of cards from all over, from many cycles. So if you're just trying to get like the cards physically, this is actually kind of hard to get because you're going to be looking all over the place. That being said, if you're printing proxies or making cards from makeplayingcards.com, not an official sponsor by any means, this is kind of cool. Because you got a pretty varied, diverse box of things, and it's actually a really cool balanced format against other people playing with one in the box. So we were gifted a copy of the corp list a wee while ago when we did a cool stream against Code Marvelous, Dan Spinoza, which was last week. Felt like a while ago, wasn't it? Hey Don, what's up? Totally love the fact that you're using Firefox. Hey, shout out, huh? But yeah, so we've talked really about all the cards that are here. I think I just want to spend a bit of time looking over the runner list. Oh, cool. Oh, no, I thought those were recommended things. Oh, wow, there's a lot of credits in there. Check out all you helpful people. Anyways, so this is the runner side, which I honestly don't know if I entirely know because I haven't sat down to look at this since last week. So let's go through it real quick, huh? Yo, Cody, how's it going? Gobble gobble. Happy Thanksgiving. How you doing, man? So cards on the Anarch side. So you got Reina Roja. Are these actually hyperlinks? Oh, you've done your work good, Nisei. So you got Reina Roja as his simple ID, and the hard ID, the more advanced ID, is Quetzal. And I think that's honestly backwards. I think Reina Roja is a bit harder to play. I think being able to pressure the corp and keep their money down so her ability is like more reasonable or more impactful might actually be harder to play than Quetzal. Or Quetzal, you can just be like, fuck it, I don't need a breaker. Maybe that's backwards. Maybe Reina's easier to play because she's a link. I don't know. That doesn't really matter. One's advanced, whatever. And some cool cards are back. Queen's Gambit is back. And this card costs 0 credits. If you bought one of the championship decks, you have a 3 credit version of it, which, feels good to play. This is actually a really cool card. And I do like it a fair bit. We're seeing fewer 3/2s, I guess, in the game. So advancing cards is better. It's a cool way to punish things. We've been seeing with criminals, cards like falsified credentials. It makes corps think so whether they want to pre-res stuff, and I think this is actually a really cool way to do it. It's also a card that gives you 6 credits from 0, which is actually pretty wild. It also punishes naked remotes, which is kind of cool for the game. We also have quest completed. They talked about this in an article. This card is actually really relevant in there's a lot of really strong Glacier decks out, and this is a very cool, simple way to maybe charge a remote server that got too big too fast. Cards like Surveyor, stuff like that. This is just like a kind of built-in kind of janky, but technically a release valve on that, so that's pretty cool. We got Retrieval Run, which has kind of just been a really big card in Max. It's weird, some of the more expensive breakers rotated, but this card's just kind of good. And we have Run Amok, which is wild. Why is that in this box? I honestly don't know. It's pretty anarch. It's a one of, but this is Ice Destruction, and as far as Ice Destruction goes, I think this might be the only Ice Destruction in the entire box, which is wild. But this is a cool, strong pressure card. It's a run event. I like that they have like strong run events that interact with the corp in some ways, like I guess Inside Job and Spearfishing on one side and Maker's Eye. Maybe that's not a really cogent point. I don't think I know what cogent means after saying it out loud. That's wild. I would never expected that. And we have one copy of Stimhack. Stimhack, probably the strongest card in the whole game. It's still there. It's still pretty Netrunner. If you want to know why this card is pretty Netrunner, and maybe if you're newer to the game, search Stimhack and go to the original core set, and then you look at the art and be like, oh yeah, that's what Netrunner looks like. Not that the art is bad, it's just like super abstract. Oh, there's a face in there. That's new to me. All right, we got hardware. We got Cyber Feeder, which is fine. It's just like Econ, and I guess you need that. And then Patchwork, which is a huge surprise. It's like a huge surprise. This card is really not easy to play unless you have an absurd amount of card draw. Throwing out a card for 2 credits, which is actually not that bad in a limited format where you're having like 3 copies of certain breakers and stuff like that. Maybe extra copies of your other Patchworks. That's kind of cool. This card is really strong in anything that has a really strong card draw built in. Things like Max is probably the easiest to play this in. This isn't in the core set, but you got some ideas. It's a really strong breaker. The actual Anarch Inside Job. DDoS isn't core. No, it's not. And DDoS is going to rotate real soon. Yo, Sheng, what's up? Forge Activation is out. It is, which is kind of upsetting because it has maybe my favorite Netrunner art. I think this is one of the only pieces of card art where if like the artist respected or like built into the frame of the card. Oh man, I fucking love that. Oh, that's so good. All right, what else we got? Some pretty standard stuff. We have Reina Rojas, so we have Xanadu, make that ice more expensive. This came back. This did rotate, didn't it? No, it was in the core set. What am I talking about? Then you have Scrubber, which is always an important card. It's just the one influence asset problem card, which is good that this exists. Liberate Counts is standard, and Ice Carver just is good. Because Ice Carver is good because we have some fixed strength breaker. Singular. Mimic is back. It didn't leave. That's fine. This card is going to see a fair bit of play. It's a really good killer. And we have Corroder. What? Corroder? That's wild. The alt art for Corroder, I'm happy. I have a lot of them. Everyone loves Corroder. It just kind of feels nice, warm, fuzzy Netrunner. This was the standard. You know how everyone plays Paperclip all the time? Like in any faction, they're like, I have 3 fewer influence. I'm playing Paperclip. Corroder was like that. And it was only 2 influence. And the fact that Corroder has to boost strength and break subroutines makes you have to reevaluate the cost of or the worth of the value of different barriers in your corp deck. This is a really big deal. Now Paperclip is still in the game, but I wish I had a siren noise. It's now on the most wanted list, which is huge. Because are you gonna play Paperclip as a restricted card? Maybe in a criminal deck, but like as an anarch, it's either this or Employee Strike. Fuck, maybe you do play this, huh? But that's wild. At least you have another good option, and it's not just like obvious which one you take. When this card was out, it was obvious. There's no reason. Mind you, Corroder did rotate for some reason, but that's wild. And you have Force of Nature because you need a code gate breaker. So you have Force of Nature. I don't know what else to say. Every faction in the core set has one shitty breaker per type. So Anarch has a really bad decoder. It's not a good card. There's no way to make it a good card. I think you still play Paperclip and Val. I think you might be right, Steven. Unless you play your whole draw engine like Inject and all that stuff and just not worry about it. It saves you influence too. You don't play Employee Strike, so you can play something else, which is cool. If you're saving 3 influence on Employee Strike. Also, how's it going, Steven? Won't miss DDoS. I feel you there. I really do. Ochikon, I'm sincerely disappointed that Scrubber and Scrubbed are 2 cards that have nothing to do with each other. There's some other good examples. I can't think of it. Where there's cards that keep goofing the names up because they're like 1 or 2 letters apart. Mind you, Scrubbed, it doesn't see a lot of play, but it is a current. Hey, Nisei, rotate all currents. Please, rotate all the currents. Save most wanted list, banned all the currents. They don't do orders, do they? And programs, Data Sucker, still a very important card, very strong card, very run-heavy card, very interaction-heavy card. It's great. And we have Imp, which people love. There's an alt art for this around. It's a very strong effect, very powerful. Anarchs want destruction. Let's do it. And then Lamprey, which I was surprised by. I'm not upset, but I'm surprised. This is the only card in the core set that says lose credits. which is really strong because you need credits. Currents out. Yeah, right? Let's go. Fuck currents. Rotate all of them. Get rid of them. Oh boy. Isn't Scorp dead and Mati restricted? Yeah. Yeah, that happened. We'll get to that too. We're not even playing Netrunner tonight. That's fine. Enjoy your Thanksgiving dinners. Put me on at the table. I'll be a guest. It'll be fine. I'm hungry actually. Force of Nature, pretty league art at least. Yeah, it's great, huh? The art of Force of Nature is like super good. Oh man. This reminds me of the art on one of the magic cards, like famous lightning bolt magic cards. Looks like this one, huh? I will never use the new art stim hack. The old one's too emblematic. I feel you, man. I do the same thing, Vincent. I go back and use the old stim hacks. On the criminal side, we got a copy of Career Fair, which if you're playing in the format, this is now just like, oh wow, I drew my Career Fair. That's a really cool card. It's a really good card. It's a really strong fundamental card. If you don't care how many copies of the core set you have 3 of these. This card was planned to rotate. I like this card. It's one of the cards that like you can draw into. It's like, oh, I'm gonna plan my turn. I have a chance at drawing Career Fair before I install my daily cast first click. I see people play daily cast first click. That can't be right. That's cool. It's a good card. It's really strong. Play it. We got Emergency Shutdown, a very strong card on Leela. Mind you, the criminals we're working with are Gabriel Santiago from the core set and Leela Patel. Leela Patel, actually one of the most polarizing runners. Some people hate her, some people love her. I'm kind of in the love her camp because she's really fun. You have to plan your turn. You generally have these strong power turns where she starts punching things. I got this cool sticker with her on it. Shout out to Kevin Tame. And I think most importantly is that gang sign is rotating. So that sort of play that people don't like where you just install gang signs and do nothing and still win. Mind you, I think Leela is the only runner deck that I've consistently been able to win games without installing any breakers. And that kind of tells you something. But yeah, gang sign goes. So Leela at least will be exciting. Other things, we have Hostage, which is nuts. This is really nuts. This card came back. This lets you tutor for connections at a pretty good cost. Now, like, it's a double, but you install the connection, so you're paying basically 1 credit to find a card from your deck. That's really good value, and it lets you play some of the strong, unique connections. And we heard in this chat before playing criminal Aesop's decks. Yeah, you can do it. Fuck it, do it. You can play one-ofs of things like Professional Contacts. You can play one-ofs of Caddy Jones. You probably don't want to play a one of Caddy Jones. Actually, probably you do in some decks. It's really good. I think one of the strongest combos out of the deck is you can start your thing as Jasminder, who doesn't take attack a turn, and then you can Hostage, which costs less influence, and for your one copy, or it costs influence, for your 1 copy of DJ Fenris, so they can rebirth into Liza, so every time you run Essential Server, you draw 2 cards. Seems good. Seems good. Well, like Hostage, am I right? Hey, cool thing about the Hostage, this is Thomas Haas, that is Mrs. Haas, and he has his fingers crossed at the back. What does that mean? World building, that's what it means. It's pretty cool. Inside Job, still good. Legwork, still good. Legwork NHQ interface, still in the game. That's pretty nuts. Spearfishing, great. Networking is back in the game, which is wild. I think they actually lost Crash Space, so this is their like I remove tags card. It's a really flavorful card. I like cards that stay in your hand. I think this is a really fun design. Cards that play from hand stay in hand. I don't know, it makes you remember what's in their hand. That generally doesn't happen for runners. It happens more with corps because you remember what's in HQ after single accesses on R&D or what have you, or HQ. I don't know, I like this sort of card. It's fun. It's also really cool when you hit this with damage. Like you start doing value damage in a meat damage deck, or like they hit this and you're playing Argus and you're like, oh, do I take meat damage? You probably don't because you can remove the tag with networking. But like then it makes you want to do like tempo damage. Like abstractly, you would consider playing like a what's it called? A traffic accident. Isn't that fun? It'd be like, oh, I want to do meat damage, so that's not right. I want to do meat damage so I can get rid of your networking. Oh, I think that's super cool. That's super, 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 super cool. Marcus, what's up? Hostage, not the first one to make the joke. Ah, man. As far as you're concerned, you are. That's what's important. Also, how's it going? Also, dreading that infiltration would help, but again, no exposing the core set, and that's dumb. That's interesting. It's very interesting. Ready to see if Mati is still heavily played now. It's restricted. I hate playing it. I think it definitely would be. It's still pretty good. I think RP is definitely a comparable thing, as is Ag Infusion. So, yeah, probably. If I was playing some of it, MCAAP is done with RP. Oh, that's a good point, right? Austerity is a card that also kind of was decried as being like a bit overtuned when it came out, but it wasn't that big of a deal for a long time. People played it in like CI combo decks, but this with in replicating perfection does seem like a nightmare. Oh my god. Crash space is gone. Yeah, it is gone. Networking, right? If Max is dead, I'm certified out. Steven, I don't think she can die. She's immortal. She's in a big box. Rip terminal directive. I think infiltration a lot. I liked infiltration a lot in the core. The card taught me a lot when I was first learning. That's a really big point, is that there's no expose in this set, which is wild. Infiltration is a card that's like a very basic card, but it is the only neutral expose in the game, and it's now gone. There's now no way to expose face down assets or agendas without importing criminal. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's no way to do that without playing criminal, whether it be through things like falsified credentials, drive-by, or even silhouette, which is wild. I think expose was largely meant to be a criminal thing, and the fact that no other faction can do it without spending it makes it very interesting and a lot stronger. For what it's worth, I don't love expose. This game is meant to largely be about traps, install advances of play, and maybe, I don't know, we saw that last week where we were doing that sort of game against criminal and we basically had no legs whatsoever because they could just expose anything. I think it's interesting that there's no expose. It does make install advance more of a viable play in a lot of ways, and mind you, there's a lot of advanceable traps in the revised core set, but I think that's a really big deal. Also, fun fact, this card was in a world's winning deck list, if I'm not mistaken. I think this was in Dan D'Argenio's a one of in his deck list from like 5 years ago, whatever. That's pretty wild. Drive-by is rotating soon as well. Yeah, it is, huh? As much as it's crucial for a new player, that might be, I don't know, maybe this card's a crutch though, but that's actually a really big deal for the game, that there is no neutral exposed. Again, that being said, all these cards are rotated, like the fact that there's no 3F3-2 engine techie, I think just means that the people who make Netrunner Nisei can now make a more interesting version of that card. Like Brain Trust, it's shitty that it's rotating for many reasons for fast advanced tenon Jintekis, but it is a crap card. It honestly is a blank card. Same maybe with infiltration. Maybe more people will play an exposed card if it was more interesting. That being said, if it's more interesting, maybe everyone plays it and then expose is annoying. There's kind of the problem with expose, right? Like the fun thing you do with a corp is hidden information, and a card that says piss off is not really fun, according to me. Anyways, we got some breakers. We talked about it. We have a pretty actually good decoder. We have our right fractor, and then we have fairy and fem. And we have sneaker beta. So all right, it's good stuff. And we got shaper. We have chaos theory as the standard ID. Chaos theory is the stronger together of runners. And then we have Real Kid Piddler, which is a great advanced ID. This is cool. This is super cool. This is what an advanced ID looks like. It's something you should play around. It's really cool and fun. I like that a lot. We got some just classic good shaper stuff. I don't think there's any real surprises here, bar one or maybe two cards. Diesel and Modded are good standard stuff. Notoriety is still around. It's a fun, flavorful card. It's pretty great. Deuces is exposed, but Deuces is only ice, Ezra. But yeah, that's the closest we have. We got Test Run, which is fine. That's been around for a long time. It's been a revised core set. It's a very interesting card. We have the Maker's Eye and Tinkering. Nothing new there. No indexing is a big deal. As hardware, we have Akamatsu Memchip instead of Dig Deer. Sad face. But whatever. This card is as boring as Chaos Theory. So enjoy that. And then we have R&D Interface, which actually is maybe one of the biggest deals in the system core, because this card is, I wouldn't say meta defining, but just like play defining. Like this just changes how the game works. Can we just let go of Chaos Theory already? Steven, I feel you 100 times. Let go of Chaos Theory. Let go of Stronger Together. They're not fun designs. They're boring as shit. Holy shit. Infiltration also works on ice, so helpful for new players who don't know every possibility. That's true, Spark, but I think one of the first things I say against new players is I give them Gabe and I say, just run. Literally just run. I see too many runners not run because they're like, oh, I'm going to wait for all my breakers, my money. Just run. It's so much better for you. Yeah, maybe you'll die when you run with 2 cards in hand to hit like a Neural Katana. But just don't run with 2 cards in hand. You'll be fine. Run. Run. Never seen Brain Trust with the token? I've done it once. It's not worth it. Oh, man, it's not worth it. Oh, man. Ah, Twitch chat. Is Scavenge gone? No, Scavenge is in creation and control, so it's still around, Kurtz. Is networking still legal now Andy has rotated? Yeah, she's on there, huh? Just, yeah. Imagine you're the dude talking to Andy. You can just also be Andy. It's fine. No one will stop you. How did I lose the Twitch chat so quickly? I've updated all my card decks to System Core. Most of them, it wasn't too bad. I'll miss my indexing, though. I'm interested whether that means games will go longer without indexing. It also means Miraju probably will see less play, but wasn't that popular as of late. We'll see. I miss TGTBT for a very annoying deck. Yeah, I do actually. I do miss TGTBT for a bit. Might never get a chance. Eternal format. Isla would have been more fun than CT as a core set ID. I think there was an argument instead of Leela to maybe put Steve, and instead of you know, Chaos Theory put Isla. I think that's a really hard ID to learn though. It's like a lot of things. It's not like a good one to teach someone. Be like, okay, so these are all your cards you have. Also, you have this other hand that's under here that you needed to understand the draw structure of when to draw and when to not draw it. And remember that one, but also remember this one. Like, it's just kind of hard, right? So you need a basic teaching ID, and Kit isn't it. And I don't think Isla's it. So you're kind of between a rock and a hard spot, but like fucking Chaos Theory. I like Chaos Theory as a character. I don't want to see her go. Yeah, I love Chaos Theory as a character. She's great. It was cool to see her grow up. Her whole like family situation and dinosaurs all comes up in the story in a pretty flavorful and fun way. As much as some of it's like real sad. But ability sucks. It's just not fun. Stronger Together, right? Like stuff that just happens and you don't play around it. You maybe deck build around it. Never love those. TGTBT is a huge miss in core. You don't have to worry about accessing the last click, especially as SOC 2019 focus on connection so much. Yo, Jellyhead, that's because you ain't putting snare in every deck you're making, which is your choice. But yeah, I feel it. I love that NBN was like a bit more spiky to touch. It was like, I don't want to get tagged, so I'm going to be careful. And they don't have Bernice and don't have TGTBT, so it kind of changes how they play. They said no one would play another purple ID, but they banned CI after all. IDs that enable you to try whatever you want in them are inherently more interesting and money. Oh, this is about ETF, excuse me. I don't care what people say. ETF and Kate were more interesting than what replaced them. That's the thing, and I've said this so many times on this channel. I played a fair bit of ETF, and I played competitive ETF, sure. But I also played silly ETF, like only neutral cards, Engineering the Future. If you don't know, Engineering the Future was the core set HB identity. That didn't look right, and it's because it's not. That's not right either. Got it. This ability just gave you like 30 credits as the game went on. You did think about it, like you would change how you install things, you would change the order of you advancing cards. But like this is a really cool ability because it gave you money to do whatever you want. So you could play like a brain damage deck and just have extra 30 credits. It's a really big deal, but it rotated because it was the only HB identity besides CI, and yeah, that's probably an issue. ETF and Kit. Let's go in direction of installing stuff. Kate. Yeah, Kate was the other one a lot of people miss because they largely grew up with Kate. And she's really strong too. She also has a link. She shouldn't have a link. She's already too good. Net neutrality ETF was a fun experiment. I think, Nick, it's probably still good. The thing is, like, I think you play Paulina now because you just need money. Okay, anyways, Aesop's Pawn Shop is still in it. Proco is in it. That's actually kind of a big deal. This is one of the better cards. Hostage is in the format, so this card is pretty great. And you have Ice Analyzer, which nobody expected. But it's honestly a pretty good card that just people don't play. Nasir will rotate, though. Breakers, kind of no real surprises besides this one. This thing came back. This lets you check traps, I guess, in Shaper. If you don't have Exposed, maybe this is what you need. It prevents net damage and also prevents AP subroutines, which are some of the scarier ones. Not that much recursion. I don't think there's any real recursion on the Shaper side or the runner side. So, yeah, I don't know. This thing's a pain in the ass because we have a dude in our meta who just played really good Control Shaper, and I would play fucking kill decks. So it would be a pain in my ass. Dirty Laundry in the game, great, huge deal on the runner side. Just having access to more neutral economy, especially this interactive economy that has like a bit of a gamble to it. It's like, oh, I hope I make a successful run. Really good for the game. Love that. And then we have some really strong resources. Armitage is back. We lost. What did we lose? I feel like we lost one card here. Maybe not. What was it? Oh yeah, we lost the Underworld Contacts, which is kind of a big deal. Like this rotated. We have a list of cards that rotated. We'll get to that in a second. But we have Caddy Jones, which we talked about. Caddy Jones, which is a really strong card, and John Masanori, which is a really strong card. It just enables run economy decks in all factions. It's a really big deal. Chatting with babes or whatever. I remember watching one of Dandy's old videos where he was like, whose idea was it to give Andy a link? It's probably Flavor Captain Damon Stone. Oh boy. Yeah, that's probably right. It seems like a flavor thing, but it just definitely makes her like way too good. And they probably argued about it. I think if she's dispossessed, though, maybe she doesn't have a link, right? Maybe she lost that. On the corp side, I think we largely talked about everything because we got to see this side. I think huge shoutouts is we have a recursion ID I don't particularly like as the corp side. I think this is interesting in the format on the basis that a recursion is not that not that prevalent in the system core, so this actually gives HB a lot more flavor. Just like expose might become more of a criminal thing, recursion is going to be more of an HB thing. That already was, but at least it's still there, I guess. Field test as an HB agenda is cool. I'm just super happy there's no Project Ares. This card was in the revised core set. No one's ever scored this, let alone overscored it, besides like mid-season decks that no longer exist. But like, I can't believe that they picked this card for the revised core set and not like mandatory upgrades. This always made no sense to me. The most flavorful agenda in the whole game that was actually lightly playable, as opposed to this, which I guess is pretty flavorful, but like, I don't like it. Everything else is good. Assets are great. Upgrades are great. Defensive upgrades. These are the only defensive, like legit defensive upgrades. I guess there's also red herring, so that's not true. And blue level clearance is back, which is a really big deal for people who like efficiency. It's a very efficient card. Eli's back. We've talked about this many a time. That froze. That's not good. Yeah, like that, I guess. And a bunch of good ice. And on the Jinteki side, the Agenda Suite is wild. Fetal is back. That's a really big deal. It's a real big deal, this card. And then Philotic. And we lost 3-2s. But we'll get back to them. Got a lot of advanced. Well, Trap Sundew is back because Replicating Perfection is back. I want to get through the corp side because we've already seen this, right? Because I want to go to the rotate list. And everything else is like you'd expect, I hope, because we've seen this already. And we get some credits. David Devatus is a lead development, so that came up a while ago. Let me close all these tabs real quick, catch up on chat. That's a lot of tabs. Good thing Firefox does tabs good. What up, Firefox? And they made, I think this is RC who made this. Who made this? Ooh, we'll talk about this. Ow, my leg hurts real bad. Ow. Deus Ex plus Adjusted Matrix is the anti-surveyor. I don't think it was Damon. I believe Damon first touched creation and control. Andy was before that. No? Yes. You aren't using any text on Deus Ex other than the strength. The original Asa was the first time each turn you install a card, draw a card. That would have been played, but 50-15. Oh, Steven is saying that. From playtesting the original Asa, which is the HB double install. This also, like, I would assume this would make it instead of Satyr as the advanced ID, but well, that's fine too. This used to be a 50-15 that says draw a card when you install a card. That's nuts. You just acid spam the shit out of that, right? It's just better than NEH is what Steven says. That was about what I was going to say. Still scoops if it was long ago. News to me. Yeah, there's like, I've heard this because I've known enough people that have done playtesting and just like sitting down and I think a lot of people are like breaking whatever papers they agreed to, but like hearing what old cards were or what was in testing, what they've been changed to is buck wild. And it's like, not that like things were overpowered, but you see the kind of struggles they had to deal with. You see where the game could have shifted to. There's some of my favorite stories to just hear like, oh wow, did you know what this used to be back in the day? Or when they were testing Liza, what the text used to say? Or like, do you want to know what the Anarch console used to be? Man, like that's it's so fun. It's so fun. I've never play tested. I just spilled a lot of water. That's fine. I gotta focus on this. Give me 1 second. Good job, bud. Let us feel staying is so suspicious. Yeah, right? Take that, Ice Carver. There's no Yogg, huh? I have no idea how they put Project Ares in revised core. Yeah, it's a blank 4-2 largely. Yeah, they needed to put an agenda and they're like, I don't want to put mandatory. I don't know. Where are you hearing those leaks? Apathy, I can't tell you because I think the people that are saying it are violating whatever agreement they had or have. I don't know whether it still holds up, but people. Get some of the folks on stream and interview them. I don't think they can because it's basically saying like, hey, I'm violating whatever paper I agreed to. Like everyone says it's hush hush. But that's it's super wild. Okay, Steven's going off. The original patchwork was all the same number except 2 MU, I know. Would have been godly for folding decks. Holy shit, that would have been good. I'm interested in a world where the bird lady wasn't garbage. Aren't we all? I'm interested to in a world where like the whole cycles that this was like attached to in the next cycle weren't all fucked to shit. Holy shit, they're bad. Voice modulators. That's a cool way to doing it. Oh man, that'd actually be really interesting. Oh fuck. Maybe I should reach out and ask about that. I just don't want to do something that's like publicly, clearly a crime. I don't think it's a crime, but like a violation of a TOS or whatever you call it, an NDA. I don't know. But it's wild. It's super, super, super wild. I wasn't even informed about what Khan did. Yeah, I don't know what she did. Like, clearly there was some testing, and they're like, something's broken here, and they like lowered the power level at the last minute. One thing I've heard, and I've said this a lot, which is this one hurts, is that Ian was meant to be sent to the printer as a 4512, and that was a goof. And I think that'd make it a lot more playable because you do have to import a whole bunch of connections and other stuff. But like, that's a real big bummer. At least they goofed him down lower than higher, though, right? It's not a crime, it's a contractual violation. So what's the difference? Like, obviously it's not no jail time, but like they can pursue you, the company, right? Right? Vincent will know. He knows all the public hand job things. He was telling me, I was surprised to know about what's considered like public indecency. Contractual violation occurs between individuals or companies. Crimes are prosecuted by the state. Wayne, how's it going? Hello. How you doing? If you're a FOMO America. Man, I don't like talking like that. Happy Thanksgiving. How you doing? Not criminal anarchy. What? Sorry, Ezra. Huh? I'm confused. Sorry. If it's always the worst when the entire cycle for your faction is focused on garbage. Oh yeah, the entire criminal. Yeah, okay, it was bad. Anyways, I want to talk really quickly. By really quickly, I mean about what rotated, and probably not really quickly, knowing how this goes. Is that really water? Maybe it's vodka or pure spirit. It's 98%. That's water. That's good water. The real reason you shouldn't do it is not to be a douche and to get blacklisted by the industry. Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. Like it's totally dubious. It's not something I want to do. Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna expose the secrets. I'm gonna give a platform. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea. I think you're right. Like early on, I liked Anarch, and they just kept printing chess pieces that did nothing. Steven, the reason I play Netrunner, mind you, is because they kept printing chess pieces. I've probably said that a fair bit on this channel, but I saw Kaisa. I'm like, yeah, I want to buy this game. I'm in. Don't be that guy. Nobody likes that guy. Yeah, totally. That's something that's probably more appropriate 10 years from now, right? Anyways, so it looks like RC made this cool list here about rotation. So these are cards that are leaving and cards that are returning. And then corp cards are leaving, returning, and at the bottom is the same thing in alphabetical order. Now, mind you, a lot of these cards are actually terminal directive because all of terminal directive is rotating, minus 11 cards that got saved in the system core 2019. But I just want to largely talk about not those. So it's like this side of the paper to see what has left from the revised core set into the system core. And it's honestly, there's not that many wild things. You have Demolition Run that rotated. Oh, this is not a hyperlink, huh? Damn. Not a big deal. This card shouldn't have existed in the core. This card only kind of hinges on things like Nerve Agent. This card honestly makes no sense. Right? Because this could only be paired with interfaces and multi-access, right? Because you need to do this while accessing multiple cards. So there's very narrow ways to do that, let alone the revised core set. I don't think there's any ways to use this card besides HQ interface, which I think was in the revised core set. But like, I don't know. This is just kind of a holdover from when Medium was around, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Otherwise, what else rotated? Spinal Modem has been replaced. The Darwin is gone. Hemorrhage and Morningstar. That's kind of wild. I think Morningstar not existing, I guess it means you got Corroder. You'll be fine. You can forge, not forge this reclamation order. Forge activation orders going is kind of it's kind of wild. That seems like a very basic like a criminal idea. It goes well with expose, which isn't in the system core, so maybe that makes sense. Doppelganger's replaced by a better console, and then we got more interesting breakers a lot of times, specifically breakers that have multiple abilities. Like every single Shaper breaker, or sorry, criminal breaker in Mind Fairy has like a bypass built into it, which I think is really wild. I think that's pretty cool. I like Demo Run plus HQI to knock out combo kill pieces out of hand. Yeah, that was the only way it was playable, but it was like a 2 influence card, so I don't know. This is kind of cool. Well, not cool. It's wild. Pheromones rotates, and Pheromones was actually like the linchpin card in like perfume type decks, which I know a lot of people don't like a fair bit. The cool thing for me is that I don't have to ever spell this card again because I can never do it. Oh, it's only 1 letter off. That's not bad. Yeah. So that's a thing, I suppose. And then we're losing actually like a fair bit of resources, which is wild. Criminal was largely defined as like the resource faction, and they have very few. I think they actually have the fewest. They were meant to be the connection, and they honestly have no connections within the system core, which is kind of nuts to me. Now they have Bank Job and Data Dealer came back, but they used to have a lot of options, and a lot of these options actually mean a fair bit. Crash space, if I'm not mistaken, means that there's no meat damage protection within the revised core set. It means all tags have to be removed by networking or paying the ability within the system core. Sorry, not revised core set. And this means there's no meat damage protection. And the only meat damage cards besides Flare, and I think Flare, is Punitive Counter-Strike. So that means as long as you have the money and they have the cards in hand, you can kill them with this. And there's no way to prevent it. Maybe I'm forgetting something. On top of that, we have Fall Guy that goes, and Fall Guy going is a really big deal for Geist decks. Mind you, but Geist is rotating, so that's not something we should be hung up about that much longer, as much as Geist is my favorite runner, and that sucks. But Fall Guy actually, outside the Geist, was actually kind of a problematic card, if you want to call it that. Fall Guy was a 3-of in World's deck list, the ones that used to run things like Data Leak Reversal and wanted to be tagged. You still see this in a fair bit of Tag Me decks where you can now play Tag Me and also keep resources. It's kind of a trade-off that's meant to exist in the game where if you go Tag Me, you shouldn't have resources because the corp can reach out and touch you. And as flavorful as Fall Guy is, that's kind of a big deal. The fact that Scorpios is going and things like Hunter Seeker going means that there's no other way to protect resources in this game besides, I think, Dummy Box, which is kind of wild. There's other ways to reach out and touch resources and destroy them that are non-interactive in the game. Things like Best Defense, and it's very hard to protect from that. So now if you want to have like all your money on something like what is that, algo trading or some wild thing like that, like it can't just get trashed, and there's no easy way in the game to prevent that. Because the one influence way to be like, oh, if I lose my this, I lose the game, doesn't exist anymore. Again, they can reprint new things, but it is what it is. Mr. Lee goes, which is not a card that sees a lot of play, but is interesting. It is maybe a bit overwhelming for like first game new players because they have to look at a lot of cards. I guess Diesel is too, so that's a bad thing to say. But like this is the sort of thing that Criminal used to mean to me. A lot of connections that had a lot of interesting utility. This is a very expensive card, but it's still a really cool card. But that's gone, which is wild. And then we lose Indexing, which is a bit of the biggest deal, because this is probably the strongest card. Most just like maybe 2-3 years ago, where every competitive deck was just like, how do I deliver medium in the most effective and brutal way to close the game out? This is largely, I'm not exaggerating, like every competitive deck, besides like if they had their own like Data Leak Reversal or Count 7 spam play, even the Count 7 spam play and Data Leak Reversal decks sometimes had medium in it. It was just like, how do I deliver medium to win? A lot of the decks nowadays are how do I deliver Indexing to win? And you can no longer do that, which means you're not going to be able to win in one turn a lot of the times. It also makes other cards worse. Cards that like, this one's restricted, but like cards like Mad Dash, makes all those work. A lot of people hate Indexing, like Falcon says in chat, so I'm generally fine with that. It means the game is going to have to go longer. It means you're going to be making more like, ooh, I hope I get it runs, because you're going to have to be running R&D more, but R&D interfaces in the game, so that's going to mean something. A lot of like subpar hardware rotated. Personal touch, just they didn't see play, and we have some interesting ways to do them that came in later cycles. I do like the new art on this one. The old art is like pretty old Netrunner art, but this one's okay. I like the art. There's a plant in the background. I think the plant does me in real good. It's weird. That plant really does it. And you do have Rabbit Hole, which I don't know. Never cared for this. I don't like cards like this where it's just like, oh, I install one card, now I suddenly traces are useless, but okay. And then this is a big deal. Yeah. This card's gone. This is the only infinite money card in the whole game. I have a copy right here. It's the only infinite card. And they decided for it not to exist anymore. And there's an article where they talk about why they've done that. If you really want to read this article, I highly recommend it. They talk about certain cards, why they've rotated, and they talk about why they come back. A really good thing that Nisei's been doing is they have been talking and they have been explaining what they do and why. If you're on Reddit, for instance, they're in the comments and they're actually rebuting and explaining so you can talk to them. They're really good with that. That's a huge difference considering FFG, who did not have a community developer, let alone any presence in any social space besides Twitter, where they tweeted out advertisements and marketing material. That is different from when Lucas Litzinger was in the game. He could tweet at him and he'd tweet back, and his tweets were canon. And rules canon, but mostly lower canon, right? This is good. I'm glad that this doesn't exist in the game. Now, every econ engine you have to consider, and it's not infinite, barring some wild like Aesop's Pawn Shop recursion stuff. But like this card was a problem in decks that only its game plan was to score behind ice. And maybe that's every deck shouldn't be able to just do that. But I've lost many games where people just stim hack their big breakers, install Magnum Opus, and then every turn is click for 8. And then you really don't have a recourse. A big part of Netrunner is that if the runner spends a lot of money, they're not going to have a lot of money the next turn. So you have a window. And this card says maybe no windows. As slow as it is, maybe no windows. That's not a very good analysis about this card, but I think it not existing is going to be at least more interesting from the game. Because if this card is anything, it's not interesting. It's a big deal, though. As much as this card doesn't see that much play modernly. That's weird, huh? I only use Fall Guys for the source and holding the off-campus apartment from getting trashed. Oh, that's a huge deal, actually. The source now, there's no way to prevent this from being trashed, which is actually probably pretty good for the game. And that's one of those cards that's like, oh, if this dies to best defense, maybe I'll lose the game. But yeah, that doesn't exist anymore. So maybe you do play Dummy Box. I don't know. Dummy Box is actually really good because you probably have a lot of resources in your deck. Okay. All-Nighter rotating. What? Satcon rotated? What? Holy shit. Okay. What? You can still Dr. Lovegood the source. Oh yeah, it's true. The thing is, like, that's only on your turn. You can't do it on their turn, which is where it's really good. Because they can score through it. This just prevents you from stealing it. Totally viable. This card's actually pretty good out of faction. Okay, this card is crazy. So this card is no longer exists. This was the cheap way. People install this and be like, fuck you, you can't trash any of my programs. And that's a really big deal because it turned off certain strategies. Now, a lot of those strategies also no longer exist in the standard format. I'm talking about you, Scorpios and Hunter Seeker, that rotated. And there was this kind of like polarized thing. It was either like, oh, my deck is super weak to program destruction. I'm running one of each program. If you do Scorpios one of my programs, if you Marcus Batty into a trash subroutine, I lose the game. And that was never fun. It was generally the kind of games that you lost in deck construction more than playing. Not 100%. But this was like the easy one influence solution that a lot of people played this. And this no longer exists. So how do you prevent programs from being installed? I don't think there is a way to do it anymore, unless I'm mistaken, besides Dummy Box. Right? It's just Dummy Box now, which is at least the more interesting card. And on the hardware side, there's also not a lot to do it, besides like LLDS Energy Regulator. Which is a card you could put in your deck, I guess. How is Magnum Opus the only infinite money card? Caddy Jones just returned and does basically the same thing if the corp tries to play a long game. Oh yeah, that's totally a point. Caddy's coming back. The thing about Caddy though is she's slow. You can play around her. She's not very efficient unless you use her for a long turn, and most importantly, she's a connection resource, which means she's very weak to certain cards like Paper Trail, which is now, I keep mixing Paper Trail and Paper Tripping. I did it right this time. Paper Trail, and then other cards like Snatch and Grab, which I think rotates. But also the Bus card is also really good. Like it's really hard to interact with Magnum Opus, but like you can murder Caddy. You can literally kill her. Trivially. Can we have Tapeworm back? No. Heavens no. Oh, I guess without Satcon, maybe you can't have Tapeworm back. That's actually a pretty cool point. Yeah. That's a cool point. This card also made Clot a lot better. And Clot does rotate though. Just kidding. No, it does. Yeah. This is the first card of the cycle. Wild. Parallel, how's it going? How you doing? Darkling also, what's up? Clone Chip is back though. Yeah, totally. It's been back for a while, but like that's the thing now is like also I think program destruction maybe got better in a big way. Like if everyone's running Paperclip. Okay, I'm gonna predict wildly and maybe not accurately, but like let's talk just wildly. MCA Informant, that's another good way to do it. You're right. Okay, so Anarchs classically ran Paperclip, MK Ultra, Black Orchestra, but now Paperclip is restricted, so we have two camps of Anarchs. Anarchs that are going to be running Paperclip as a restricted card, which should be some of them. It's not going to be Max, because they generally need to run Levy, so it'd probably be Valencia, if anybody, in competitive Anarch decks. And the other option is Corroder. Now, the thing is, Corroder is a fine card. It's obviously worse than Paperclip, but that means that maybe that they want to run other fixed strength breakers, because if you're running Corroder, it's much harder to run Inject. And Inject is also a really strong card that is slated to rotate regardless. And that might mean that more Anarchs are running cards like Mimic. and as opposed to cards like MK Ultra. So maybe they're running Crowder, Mimic, and then Ice Carver, and then Data Sucker like old Anarchs back in the day, and that's kind of cool. But that means now also that's another big reason why Program Destruction gets stronger, because Program Destruction got a lot worse, and at one point in time was even unplayable because everybody and their dog was running Paperclip. It's like, do you want to trash my Paperclip? No. And then the game became more about Arc Lockdown than it did against Program Destruction, which, you know, is that fun? I'm trying a max with Paperclip, 3 labor rights, and 1 same old thing. I think that's reasonable. I think labor rights is really, really, really good. Oh, instead of Levy. Oh, that's wild, Parallel. That's cool to hear. So max with Paperclip, 3 labor rights, and a same old thing, and no Levy. That saves a fair bit of influence too, which is pretty exciting. Anyways, I think that's interesting. That's actually a really big deal because with Inject rotating and Paperclip now being restricted, the Anarch Breaker Suite isn't very obvious as it was for a while now. And so that actually opens up a lot of things. It makes different ice good, different ice bad. With Paperclip, Crowder becoming the new thing, like ice with a lot of subroutines is pretty good. High strength ice is pretty good. Maybe David comes back, but it's definitely mixes everything else. We talked a bit earlier about infiltration, which is now there's no neutral exposed for installed cards besides ice, which is kind of a big deal. Dice membership rotates, nobody really cares that much, I don't think. And Underworld Contact is a big deal because Sunny decks got a lot worse. Like a lot worse. One of the good reasons to play Sunny is that you have this card on turn 1, and this is an insane money card. Now, I have, admittedly, when you're playing against a Sunny or any, like, this is an absurd econ card. The condition of having 2-link is not that difficult to do in the game anymore. Maybe a bit harder now that Maxwell James has rotated. But you put this card down, it just pays for itself in, what, like 4 turns, excuse me. And from then on, it's just kind of really hard to ever have less money than the corp. Definitely very strong card, but it's rotated. So now playing Sunny is just like not as attractive. Also Fall Guy and all that sort of stuff rotated too. But yeah. That's a really big deal for Sunny. Like a really big deal. This is like a really big reason to play Link. Now Sunny has no really good plays turn 1, huh? Runner cards returning, we went through that. Oh, we didn't go through all this. Oh yeah, we did. That was the other one. On the corp side, I don't think it's as interesting. Cards are rotating. A lot of these are just like bad cards. Very few of these are cards that are rotated that like had a strong play in the meta and will change the game in a meaningful way that they're not there. So like Ares, nope, no good. Hudson, not particularly played. GLC, nah. Shimon for Mirror Morph means less acid spam. That's fine. Strong Box, whatever. Brain Trust, whatever. Whirlpool, whatever. I'm sad TGTBT rotated. Anonymous Tip rotating is kind of wild because that was like the neutral basic. It wasn't very popular, but that was the basic card draw card. Bernice Mai and TGTBT both to me represent this like NBN I'm gonna tag you trap game, which no longer exists. And then nothing else here really matters besides maybe Melange, but I'm upset about that because I have alt-art Melange cards and they're gorgeous. But I think the biggest thing is people don't play on Melange, they just play on NGO front. Yeah, whatever. That's largely it. That's largely it. I'm going to take a minute here to shout out. Maybe you're tuning in halfway through the stream. Maybe you're tuning in halfway through the VOD because you don't want at the beginning. I just want to shout out to my good friend Matt. Matt and I played Netrunner many moons ago when we were in university together. And he kept playing the game for a while. He stopped. I think he stopped about at the point in time where Data and Destiny came out. I think that might be the last box he owned. The point is, don't quote me on that. Now, Matt hasn't played Netrunner in a while, isn't interested in getting back into Netrunner. That's fine. And he wants to get rid of his cards. So the rule is we're going to have a raffle up on youtube.com on this channel, on this video specifically. Leave a comment if you're interested in getting Matt's collection of cards, which includes cards of which we don't know. We're pretty confident he definitely has original core sets. He definitely has the first 2 cycles. He has Creation Control, Order and Chaos. He might have all the way up to Date and Destiny, and then like some cycles. He might not have everything. It's still a lot of cards. A lot of those cards rotated, but there are a lot of cards and they could be yours. What's the catch? All you have to do is pay shipping because Matt just wants to get rid of them and give them a new home. He just doesn't want to pay money to do it. So that's it. Get on YouTube, write a comment. In your comment, you have to write what's your favorite rotated card, either past or future, and why. And then we'll just pick one live on stream next week. And then Matt is in Northeastern. He's in New York City, Northeastern America. So shipping will be calculated from there. If you live in Antarctica, that probably sucks. I'm sorry. That's largely it. I love Hive and Melange. Really sad to see him go. That was mentioned, I think, was talking to someone from Montreal. They're saying I'm sad that Hive. They were sad Hive rotated. I'm really glad Hive rotated. Like it's a strong Wayland Rush card, but like this card was a 3 of in every Wayland Acid Spam deck because this is one of the few cards in the game that says like, oh, don't score agendas. Literally don't score agendas. And then it was like only played in like acid spam decks that never scored, planned to score agendas. They were just going to spam assets, attrition you out, hard hitting news you over and over and again. And those weren't fun. As much as it is just like slightly better than Spiderweb, it just contributes to this like awful grind of a game that's generally not that much fun to play as a runner. So I'm glad it's gone. Melange though, it doesn't see a lot of play, but man, that art. The spice must flow or something like that. I don't know. Leave the comments where on Twitch or on YouTube. On YouTube, kindly. Nos Mosk. Write a comment on this video. That's exactly it. Either now or when it's finished. We'll do the draw next week, so yeah. So you have till then. I'm really bad at answering YouTube comments. I'll read all of them though. I'll definitely read all of these. I hate inject so much. The sole reason for the Heatbreaker supremacy. I cannot wait until it goes. Once it goes, like I honestly don't know what Anarch does for draw anymore. Like they have no draw cards. Very few factions do though. Laguna's gone. Quality Time has been gone for a while. So like Shaper has Diesel, and Proco. I think that's it. Anarch now just has like what? Duggars rotates too. So like that's it. We have Earthrise Hotel, which stayed. But like there's very few draw cards. Anonymous Tip is gone. That's huge, right? Hey, you look like a nail. That's another account. Do you have a bunch of accounts? Is this how you getting through the... Oh, you're on YouTube. I see how they work. I would like to get those cards, and my favorite rotated cards indexing. I was gone, but I felt like players could set up. Would it feel clever? I'm afraid that you made a comment in the chat. You actually do have a comment on the video, not the chat, because the chat doesn't stay, and there's no way to look through it. But you actually had to do like a YouTube comment, which might be not available now. I don't know how live streams work. I don't think you can write a comment on live stream. Maybe you have to wait for the stream to be over. Maybe I should have mentioned that. Maybe I just found that out. I did. Everyone will start using Drug Dealer, I guess. Yeah, that's a good one influence card. Drug Dealer love good meta. Get your value wild side. But draw is like worth its weight in gold in this game. Worth its weight. I love ice that doesn't rely on strength and it falls apart halfway through the game. Always coming out. It's good in core. Yeah, that I got when you're playing Hive in that way where it's just like a cool ice, and in Blue Sun, of course, like you mentioned, it is really good, or Dite mentioned. But yeah, it just was like a 3 tour guides, 3 Hive, and then like 2 Hortum, and that was every single like Gagarin acid spam deck, or like people were playing Hive in Industrial Genomics for a long time too, because it's less influence than tour guide. But it's just like not fun. It's also way better against Corroder. It's like 6 to get through for Corroder, which is more than its res cost, which is not very common on ice. Especially hard end to run ice. It's very not common for the game. Doesn't Dealer leave when Inject leaves? Ah, piss. Yeah. It does, Kevin. Well played. John Masnori and DJ Fenris. Oh yeah, John Masnori's back. So that's actually a neutral draw, which is like pretty good and fun and interactive. It is oppressive when you're behind and you can't keep them out. But otherwise it's pretty good. It's also connection, so you can trash it. Which is good. I think we have to play a Netrunner game. That's largely, I think we talked about everything. I know there's also a code of conduct, and there's like a pretty big conversation around it. I haven't read it yet, but like I know there's posts on like Kotaku in Action, which is like a pretty fucking buck wild Reddit subreddit. But there's a lot of conversation about it because people, I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about it right now. I haven't read it yet, but it's like there's hundreds of comments on our Netrunner. Please do not read the discussion about the COC. That's what I feared, my dude. Oh man. Yeah, anyways. It's a thing. And there was no code of conduct from FFG, so it's interesting to see that. Save yourself the headache. Oh boy. Yeah, John is great with the ladies. Been logging online with babes all day. Fucking liability, this dude, huh? Anyways. Oh cool, thanks. You look like a nail. Andre has a friend who's getting rid. Oh, sorry, I missed that. Andre has. I walked in for 2 minutes. What's going on? Andre has a friend who's getting rid of old cards. There'll be a raffle. You need to comment on YouTube with your favorite rotated card and pay shipping if you win. Yeah, that's it. That's largely it. Thank you. Burbad. Our Netrunner cock combo got brigaded. Save yourself. Oh, the COC combo. Yeah. Okay. Also, how's it going? BR Brad. SBR Brad is probably how you say that. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, I don't know. I read a bunch of that when it was early on. There's like 200 comments now. Anywho, gotta play a deck. I don't know. I think we're just gonna try out some of Devatus's decks. Seems like a good thing to do. Actually, I don't know. I talked pretty good shit about it earlier. Not shit. I just wasn't impressed. Which maybe that's considered shit. But somebody posted their what's it called deck? It was a deck that had crowdfunding in it and Max. I want to play with more crowdfunding because it seems fun. But I don't have it. Nick, I don't want the cards. Already have everything, but Andre just opened the door for me to say Noise is my favorite rotated card. Hell yeah. We all miss Noise, don't we? I honestly did like playing Noise a lot. And the Altered's also gorgeous as well. Let's play it. We haven't played a lot of Runner. I'm going to play some System Core Criminal demo deck. Criminal's fun to play. Yeah. So like there's Nationals in Hungary a while ago. The question is like which most wanted list were they on? I'm assuming if it's a Nationals, it has to be FFG, right? Or is this like a custom Nationals? So far, I don't see anything that would mean anything else. Whoa. That's a mean deck. That was the thing about NEH decks. Is like I played a bunch of NEH, like I plan to score decks, and this one does have hard-hitting news, but no real punishment besides Psycho. Is that like you need a hard-hitting news, otherwise they could just trash everything, which is pretty wild. Oh, okay. Hey, Pope, how's it going? How you doing? Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. I don't miss Medium as a card, but that sweet, sweet Adam Doyle art is downright hypnotic. It took me a while to realize like what the flavor on Medium was, that like it can see the future, like a spiritual medium. Literally took me years to figure that part out. You tuned into a good live stream. Excuse me if my plosives hit the mic really hard there. Let's play this one. This one seems good. It's criminal, has everything you want, has liberated accounts in it, and no hostage to find Caddy, but that's fine. We have one Mimic, whoa, which is pretty good. You have the Data Suckers, which is good. Sneak Orbit is a strong card. Weird that they went for legwork as opposed to HQ Interface. HQ Interface has a lot of value with Sneak Orbit. Maybe we can't afford it, but we do have legwork, which is a good card. That's a good one. So we'll try this. I don't need cards, but I give them to a friend who wants to start playing. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm not going to enforce it, but ideally, I'd love these cards to find a new player. I think that would probably be the coolest thing. Yeah, I don't know. Do as you will. New runner deck. What are we called? Devatus's criminal deck. Standard. Technically, it's core experience, but it's also technically standard. So can't be wrong there. Crim Core without hostage is a joke. I don't think we need it. It'd probably help. Like we would either do for either of these base. That's the cool thing is with hostage is it's like a toolbox. You feel like a shaper. And this is how it used to be. It's like, oh, I'm gonna play hostage in my deck. It's like, okay, is this a slow game? Am I playing against Glacier? Am I playing against Engineering the Future? Okay, I'm gonna get Caddy Jones. Am I playing against NEH? Do I want to go fast? I'm gonna get John Massanori, and that's huge. That's huge. Hostage is fun. I'm gonna hit that button, which does that. I'm gonna hit this button that does that. I'm gonna leave that there. Make player information hit available to spectators. Oh, that's interesting. Is it if I don't hit this, you can see my hand? What? Really? You can see my hand if you spectate if I don't hit that? What else is hidden? The urn is a brain. Yeah, I like it a lot. I'm a Kua in a frame myself. I'm a fan of his work. There's a lot of really good art in Netrunner. Hey, Tokes, what's up? That goes without saying, though. That's not really saying much. Netrunner has art in it. I have some Adam Doyle prints to hang on the wall. I'm a Kua, and a few that aren't from ANR. Stuff looks so good framed up. Is he doing the stuff for other FFG stuff? Ooh, there's a big chance this is only core set. So we are doing the single core experience. Maybe not even single core. I know I am single core. We're playing against Stronger Together, which is a Caddy deck. Our opening has Money, Earthrise, and Special Order, which is honestly pretty good. It does things. You can forget about it. Look, they're gonna be playing a lot of HB Byroids. We can generally click through those, so it's easy to get pressure on HQ turn one because we can just run and click. I kind of like this hand just because it has double gamble to Earthrise. We have one career fair, maybe. Yes, thank you, David. And special order is fine for whatever we need. So I think this is actually worth keeping. You can do a lot worse than this. Obviously, opening with Caddy would be the best, but we'll take it. They also kept, so that's never great. Lily Ibrahim also does some of my favorite stuff. I don't know that artist by name. They do Netrunner art, or this is just art? Oh, that's Netrunner art. Nice. Yeah, they do good art. I like this one a lot. Okay, back in it. They got hedge fund, install ice, gain credits. So we are Gabe. We want to get 2 credits from running HQ. So HQ we run. Generally, we're going to be able to click through most things. A lot of the stronger Byroids. Oh, that's worst case scenario by far. So we can always like special order to Abagnale, but I think we can set up. We also just probably want to run R&D here. Get single access while we can. There's 3-pointers in their deck usually. IPO off the top, that's good. Probably means we know what the turn is. Now, the problem why we maybe didn't want to do that is because we could have played both of that. That single access was probably straight wrong because I didn't realize we lost a click to this. So we should have done Sure Gamble to Earthrise. I don't want to play Earthrise to go down to 1 credit, so we're just going to have a shit turn there. Call my standard criminal deck heist decks. That feels right. And you can see what their turn was there. Not that surprising. We're going to be drawing a fair bit with Earthrise. I still want to go for the single axis. We have a small chance of top decking Dirty Laundry. I think there's 2 in the deck. Yeah, so I'm going to draw first. Nailed it. So we can run here and then Sure Gamble into Earthrise. We'll draw a 3-point agenda off the top, hitting the priority requisition, the 2 of the deck. Damn, we're good. Eli, we can click through that. That probably goes on R&D because it's taxing. And then we'll just set up, basically play the free Earthrise, and we're good to go. Noob Gabe art is so much better than OG Gabe. I do like it a fair bit. I think he's more flavorful as like the old grizzled dude, but I also have like a bunch. I have the alt art, which is really fun. I think the perspective is a bit wonky, but it's like one of the few cards. That was kind of a problem with the criminal for a couple cycles, is they didn't feel like criminals. That's one of the few cards where you see a criminal brandishing a weapon and washing blood off of it, which is like super hardcore. Oh, there she is. There it is. So we were 1 top deck away from doing the thing we wanted to do. So we definitely want to set up Caddy, and we can kind of just set them up. When they're playing Stronger Together, they're playing a fair bit of Byroid, so it takes them generally 2 ice to make a secure server. And one of them might be Ichi, which doesn't do anything if we don't have breakers. So I think we would just want to Caddy and set up. I don't really like Dirty Laundering Archives. I just don't think it's worth it. So I think we maybe, I don't even know if we play Fairy. We do have to watch out for Roto Turret, but I don't think... The other options like Special Order, we probably do that. Special Order for Abagnale and Dirty Laundry HQ last click. It puts pressure on HQ, and then we don't Caddy though. We special order. That's a 1. Put Abagnale. Then we install Caddy. So we're not hitting Caddy this turn. That's fine. Abagnale breaks this for 1 credit. If we run last click. Oh, so we can do everything we wanted. Oh, damn, we're good. Unless we get hit by like C-Source here, which is technically possible. So we'll go through this last click. Can't really get punished by that unless we hit a snare here, which would actually be really bad. Nothing to see here, my friends. This is some good fundamentals Netrunner. I am going to undo a bunch of that shit. Yeah, right. I forgot to play that. That was fucking... Stop. Oh, this is a mess. We're clicking for a credit. Please don't hit snare. So this is worth 5 credits to get our Gabe value. No, Abigail installed, my dude. Yeah, I figured it out. There we go. All right, agendas are generally in hand. It's been like, so if you want to get a good rule for this game, generally 1 in 5 cards is an agenda. So they've gone to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's not unlikely that there's another agenda in there. Whether or not they mulligan impacts that a fair bit, but generally 1 in 5 is an agenda. If they're not scored or in remotes during HQ, go find them. I think we're all supposed to drink now, huh? Yeah, breakers won't work better installed. Okay, whatever. Whatever. We didn't let out too much information. We got Caddy in the deck. It's a limited format. They know. That's fine. All right. So they need to find ice for HQ. Otherwise, we're going to be gaining 1 credit and getting a last click access. There you go. That's the ice. Now, we do have to watch out for Roto Turret. We do maybe want to find out what this is. There's not that many like blowout cards like there were back in the old format. So like if they res Adonis, that's not credit positive. If they res a... Oh, that's actually really hot too. That might be better than Caddy, but we're definitely going to need Caddy in this matchup. We could do both. Yeah, there's no more melange. So like if this is money, it's slow money, unless it's an agenda, which behind a single ice it could be. We can face check with pretty much impunity with Fairy, because anything that trashes programs. Ichi we click through, Roto Turret we click through, or sorry, we Fairy, so we don't lose our Abagnale. So the question is, we can leave this go. The only other thing it could be a second Vitruvius, which is kind of unlikely. So I think we're just going to set up. We're going to have good money. I just had a great idea the next Patrick stream. Andre just goes about business as usual, and Patrick plays a drinking game live on stream with the rest of us. Yeah, he'll die. So that's an Adonis. So they didn't gain money on this. If we trash it now, it's actually really good for us. So I think we'd consider doing it. We have an Armitage and a bank job. I kind of want to install, because even if they spend money resing this, it's pretty bad for them. 5 credits is probably enough. I want to be able to click through something. We'll run here. We'll click through an Eli. But we would definitely want to trash this. We can get through an Enigma and still trash this. Maybe we'll have a click lever to hit caddy. Oh, that's a Turing. So they just spent 4 credits to end the run. Well, we could bypass through that, which seems bad. We could always run first click. So I'm just going to jack out. So we put pressure on them. We made them spend money. I still think we probably just hit caddy Jones and then run HQ last click, which we might have wanted to do last turn if we didn't. So again, worst case here is like we can hit a Victor. We could hit a Heimdall where they can't res. This seems pretty safe. We'll go HQ. Fun, what's the drinking game? Endurance of plan. Anytime he says that's largely it. There's the Roto. We got the that's largely it. We'll break through this. There's so much shit I say all the time that I don't realize until I like rewatch these things. So we spend a ferry, but they spend 4 credits to trade for a ferry, which is good, and we're gonna get a good access here. Hopefully no snare. They can't fire a snare. We're fine. Aggressive secondary. That's a good trash. Let's go. There's actually a public Google Doc? I knew there was. Fuck off. No way. Oh shit. Oh yeah, right. I have seen this. That's largely it. Busted. Technically. This one doesn't happen that much anymore. I think the game's got better. Goofed. Yeah. This seems on brand. Refills water jar, plays winner. Oh, these are good. That happens half the time. Oh, that's great. That must be an Adonis, right? Or TGTBT. We're locked out of HQ. Our draw has ground up. We can always like shut this down, which has good value, but we really need to trash this. I don't want to run into the Roto, but the chance of there being double Roto is pretty bad. So we can just install bank job and run. Oh no, we can't click through this. We definitely want to click through this, but we click through this, we neither caddy. I think we need to trash this because their money is really bad in this game if we get it. I'll click through this. Then they res Ash, and then we trash Ash, which is good to trash Ash because if we trash Ash now, they don't have a way to score. Ah, beans. I'd rather pay another 1 credit from Lindsay. I'm looking for a good face check, or 2 from Anansi. Remember Tsurugi. Oh, I'm fine with Tsurugi. Tsurugi's like 3 influence, and like they have to pay more money, so they end up paying like 7 credits. Otherwise, we take 3 net damage. It's like whatever. Oh my goodness, 10 vision contract is legal and eternal. Holy shit, for real? Here's the Ash. So they pay 2 more credits. We'll just trash the Ash. We don't have any link. We could have considered the bank jobs just so that we can get the bank job instead of trashing Ash, but we have to click through this. Yo, puppy, how's it going? I don't feel like I've said those in a while. So we could trade 4 for that, and then we can't trash this, so we're credit short. So we're just going to trash the Ash. They probably have archive memories to bring it back, but now they don't have a scoring remote as much as they do have money. We lost out a caddy turn, which is the worst part. I'm glad that a 3-click card that isn't Fairchild 3 is in the set, because this is like a cool struggle. We need to keep drawing, though. We really need to find our Paragon. And this did pay out. I wish we could have thrown that. They're all take a drink, aren't they? Or am I playing wrong all this time? See, they need money. Money's good. So we got to start drawing to find our answers. We want to draw a hit caddy this turn. We want to find our breakers. That might be too much draw. If we hit this, we go up to 8 cards. All these cards have pretty good value. I don't want to play Armitage. I feel like drawing again is probably bad. And I don't want to play this until they install like a pad campaign naked. That's rough. I think we're just going to play more money. I think we're just going to hit caddy, hit this, and install Armitage. I just don't know how we'd ever use Armitage with this. I feel like we're going to need all our money, though. We definitely store credits on that. There's no way they install a naked thing into bank job, though. And they might score next turn, so like having money is really important. Maybe we just hit this twice. That seems better. Let's go. We also have to watch out for scoring windows. There's a chance if we have few money, they could score out a paper trail in 1 or 2 turns, and then we lose our caddy. Even if they score it, we still have to spend 6 credits to protect caddy, which is kind of rough, even if she's empty. So is clone suffrage, but I won't play that because I'm not a bad person. Okay, so this could be it. I'm generally assuming that they think we can't get through this because we can't get through that. If this is a paper trail, we want to get our money off caddy for sure. We could consider femming this if we find our fem, but we need to run with 2 breakers. I think we have 2 Crowders in our deck. We have 1 Crowder in our deck and a Tomorrow. Okay, let's find it. We did not, but that's fine. So installing John before the turn that they might like just go ahead and wipe the board seems like an issue. I think we also could just install Fairy and run this. If this was a Roto on the inside, they might have rezzed it a turn ago. We got 1 aggressive secretary, so it doesn't feel that risky. If it's an Eli, it just ends the run, which is not bad. And this breaks for 5, which is actually a lot. It's cheaper than bypassing it, though. 0-click CI is legal internal. Yeah, there's a lot of busted stuff, but there's busted stuff on the other side of the table, too, so it might not be that worse. Hit this with a Heimdall. Heimdall us. Woo! Big bird. Okay, they got that off. That is a good target for this little dog that got a bit sick inside, so we're going to shut that down. Caw, Hadrian's Wall. Anytime he fills water, you have to drink for the duration of the pour. I've been pouring real slow. Now, we might need to protect caddy here, but they're at the point where if they score this, they go down to 0 credits, which is huge. That is a paper trail. I don't even think we protect caddy anymore. I don't think it's right to pay 6 into this to protect caddy. Because caddy won't be... Do we protect 6 for caddy? I don't think so. I think we just go ham here. I think we go absolutely ham. I think we legwork them. We shut down their remote. We John Masonori, we run R&D. Yeah, but we're not going to protect caddy. Caddy, you're dead. Caddy, you did good. Any attempt to play Classic Netrunner will be met with the runners having 50 credits in short order and are blowing up your Classic state without hitting ice. Yeah, I don't think that's true either, Celestial. I think that's a simplification, but you'll definitely see some crazy shit. All right, let's go. Maybe we don't shut this down until they jam. Flare. Oh, that's another good target for our shutdown, but they're so far away from firing that. We definitely want to legwork last click. They can't fire snare. I think we might just hit this. We can also legwork now to shut this down. But I want to surprise them. Shutting this down is also relevant, but they can get it up next turn. And we need to really find our Mimic. We have 1 more special order and a Fem. And we don't Fem this. We generally Fem this or this. Or a Flare. Or a Flare. Okay, let's go. 2 agendas and about 15 cards. There might be another in here. Oh, we have to use a Fairy on this. Yeah, right. I forgot about that. That's fine. That means we won't be able to shut down for a while. Okay, that's a misplay. Sneak Door Beta would be really sweet soon, too. Card from hand, let's get a Vitruvius. There's the agenda. There might be 1 more in here. A blue level. They can play this next turn. And a field test. Damn, we're good. We're on game point. 1 credit. Blue level clearance in hand. We can't pressure HQ straight off the bat, but R&D looks like it might be open. The only bad thing would be a barrier here. I don't know how many rotos they play, but it could be a bit of a blowout. The thing is we take a tag with John if they can res this, but I kind of want them to res this. We could just run archives to see what they've thrown out, which is honestly interesting information. Draws as a card. I'll try that. Oh. That's exactly what we wanted. That's perfect. Oh, we could install the Armitage. Yeah, okay. So we spend 3 credits, we get 2 back. Not actually that good. Because we already took 2 agendas out of it. This probably isn't worth it. If we had Data Sucker, yeah, maybe. Oh, we didn't also see what they threw out. They threw out another Enigma and a Roto. What's in their hand? It might be actually more agendas. That's a flare we knew. Okay. We should add, we're so good at this game. Damn, we're good. We got all our breakers. We can't deal with big. Oh, so they're pushing, right? Because they think we can't get in here. We're going to upset them. We are going to upset them in a way that could be considered criminal. Do you want to bypass this? Kind of do. I don't think we need to, though. It looks like there's another agenda and they jammed it. Oh, fuck me. We can't even do our good play. Well. Okay. They flooded up real good. Blue level clearance. You run HQ after they draw a lot of cards. I was going for the shutdown of the big bird. Okay. So we pressured HQ, which is what we did. We played some good fundamentals. I think not protecting Caddy was the right call. We were on 6 points really quickly. So it looks like they had a fair bit of agendas. That's almost all the agendas in their deck, right? 2-4, 2-4, 2-2. So there's another, I think there's another paper trail and then 2 3-pointers. So there's not a lot left. Forgets idea ability? Oh, come on. Come on. Thanks for the game, eh? Criminal's fun, man. Criminal's really fun. No buy rides res notably. Oh shit. I totally forgot. It's funny how it says this when it's just forget the corpse ability. Like we were playing against a blank ID, which is hilarious, but it honestly didn't matter. Will it matter in this matchup? Sometimes. If we're breaking their ice, yeah. But like Mimic, it matters the most. It's the only fixed strength great breaker in the revised core set. A bit too few available on one core. Yeah. You have what? Ichi, Vitru. Oh, yo, hey, bud. The Vedas is here. You have what? Ichi, Victor, Heimdall, Eli, which is on R&D, it seems. I think that's it. They put Easter egg in the course. Jellyhead 3:44 a.m. Good night. Hey, sleep well. Thanks so much for spending your evening here. Hopefully you get enough rest. The HBID leaves much room to be desired. Hey, Andre in stream. Yo, what up? Howdy, David. Thanks for the game. What, David? Was there consideration on ASA? I want to see if you mentioned that. You're looking at bank job. Oh, you're joking. Oh, we're joking because their ID was blank. It's like we had employee strike. This card is also not bad. I don't know if Devatus is still in here. Oh, it looks like he is. Cool. Let's see if he answers that. Now the Scorp is rotated, that won't come up as much. But then we're so good at this. I don't know if David saw us. I'll give it another minute. We'll try and play another game. You're jogging. How's it going? Happy Thanksgiving, bud. You got like what? You're 3 hours left of here. So it's 7:46. How was your dinner? Maybe you had dinner. Okay, I don't know if David saw that. I'm gonna just go out here and try it again. Again, not a lot of games tonight. We are one of them. 2 of them are just seemed like they've been jammed empty. This is private, so I don't know. We're probably gonna have to find a game from somebody in chat. If you want to jump in, do it ahead. For what it's worth, I'm playing single core set. But it is a holiday today in America, and this is the time zone where most American players play, or North American players. Hey, Shaz. Shaz is usually in Twitch chat or YouTube chat, or maybe both. Oh, Mati. Okay, so we've gone a bit outside of the core set environment. Mind you, Mati Makundo. I didn't talk about the new most wanted list. Mati Makundo is a restricted card now, which is a pretty big deal. This card didn't win Worlds, but obviously had a strong showing. So far, we have some good pressure cards. We have some good setup cards. Generally, Mati is a mixture between Rush and Glacier. No quote on Santiago. That's wild. But we do have good money. We have long money. We have a draw card. We have nothing bursty, which makes me want to maybe mulligan this. Oh, cool. David's following up. How do you like the new meta? Haven't played enough of it. So far, I'm playing just revised core, which has been great. David says I definitely considered Asa, but at all possible to go was to rescue IDs from pinning. Makes sense. I don't know. This hand maybe is a keeper. It's hard to get Bank Joff off because they generally protect this. It's also hard to put pressure on HQ. But I think opening with Caddy is probably the best card we could possibly have in this matchup. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been defeated. How's it going, Tokes? Thanks for the game, eh? So let's see how it goes. So if they're a restricted deck, that means they can't run Surveyor, which is pretty popular. They can't run Global Food Initiative. Not as popular. Oh, fuck me. Motion Notion. So there is no more Expose in the revised core set. So this is considered a top tier play. Because we can't just infiltrate it, which we would see out of like a single revised core set deck and a single ice. This is both weak to Inside Job and the other one. Spearfishing, both in this deck. Maybe we'll find it. I'm gonna run HQ. This looks like it's an agenda. If we had a fairy, we'd definitely face check it. They can definitely install an ice here, but that means we will access non-ice more often than not. This could be just no Bacata. Maker's Eye at the bottom of the stack. Motion deck. I don't know if Maker's Eye is good. What else do we need? We need to have breakers. I'm gonna bottom that. Oh. Wild. Are they on border control? They're probably on border control if they're playing this. The die to Cortex Lock click too. Yeah, we totally died to Cortex Lock. We have 5 MU, 3 cards in hand. Or 4 cards. Yeah, we do. We definitely do. That's fine. You gotta take that risk. You're criminal, right? Tara Big Hammer, how's it going? Hey, I think YouTube stream has gone down. Just shows you starting soon screen. For real? That sucks. Thanks for pointing that out if that is or isn't the case. Yeah, what the fuck's with that? Yeah, you're right. Thank you, Tara. Don't know. No idea. That's wild. Twitch stream's still up, right? Is the YouTube down? Oh, maybe that's okay. Maybe it's not. Maybe, Tara, you want to refresh. YouTube is fine, says Dite. Maybe try refreshing that. I'm not sure what that's about. We definitely want to hit up Caddy. We also put this down, but we won't have money. They're going to score an agenda. Sads. YouTube seemed fine. I just checked. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Maybe try refreshing, Tara. I'm not sure what that's up. Also, Horland. How's it going, PJ? Nothing wrong on YouTube. Thank you. How's it going? Sort down refresh. My bad. Hey, no, that's cool. I appreciate the warning regardless. That's a Nisei token. Ooh, so it looks like they probably have Nisei tokens and public timely release for border control. I think that's my bet. That's pretty scary. We know the top card of the deck, or actually we don't anymore. I'm going to run R&D, right? Could be another ice. We die to anything that does 4 net damage. We also get to use Paragon. Inside job to bottom stack, no thank you. And that's a current. Don't like currents. We have no currents in this deck. This doesn't seem good for us. We do have what's it called? We are just going to draw into an event, which is really good. That's bad. Am I the one who calls her Katie, not Caddy? No, I think a lot of people still call her SBR Brad, call her Katie. That being said, Damon Stone, the person who named this character, has gone on record to say that in canon her name is Caddy. So the enlightened call her Caddy, but you know, do what you want. I take risk. Okay, so we definitely want to hit this. It seems good. So we draw into inside job, which is pretty good. We have no credits. We could also jam the Armitage, but I think we're just going to commit to the Caddy Jones. And I don't want to run HQ here. Just click for credit. Okay, feels bad. This is not a core experience. Far from it, huh? So we know they have the current. Maybe they play the last click, apparently not. And now they have 8 ice, or 8 credits and 5 cards in hand. So now face checking is super risky. So we're going to really camp the Caddy. If we want to pop the Caddy, we can get liberated down. But then how many clicks do we spend on this? We spend 4 clicks to gain 6. Which is kind of shit. And that's the thing about Caddies. Like, there's a big number on here, but you don't realize how many clicks you spent on it. The other option, like, we have to now do click math. The other option is, like, we can install this, take 4 off of it, take money off that, take 9 next turn, which means that we spend 5 on 9. Install, click. So we spend 4 for 6, which is bad. Next turn we spend 5 for 9, which is somehow feels worse. ELP, border control, TPR, batting these. It's probably the whole field. Oh man, it's bad. I think we have to do liberated. We just need more money now. Feels bad. But at least we're drawing. Okay, so we want to pressure everything. They don't have enough money. I think they're setting up this turn. Maybe they have an IPO. It looks like they're jamming into that remote. I would expect the current to come down, and we can only inside job through a single ice, but they have to res both ice if they want to double ice with the Mati Makundo. Yeah, there's the IPO, so they had that comfortably. So now they have a fair bit of credits. Now, even if we inside job, John Masanori against a Nisei token is a wild liability, and I really don't love that. I'm glad at least we drew on a fairy so we can start face checking into things. But an unadvanced card probably means, what's her name? Rashidi Hakim, which means we just pressure HQ largely. We need breakers, we need money, we need draw. I don't want to play this into the matchup. It feels real bad. I'm just going to do the control thing. Wish we played Leela instead of Gabe in this matchup. And playing this is not that good. I'll just take the money. Let's go. That's the Rashida, so they're going to draw a lot, which means running HQ is really powerful. If we hit something like a DNA tracker, none of these cards are that good, besides the inside job. That being said, we're going to draw 2 more. Maybe also showing the fairy there is a mistake. We could have installed Armitage, taken money off of it. We're probably going to need the money in this sort of matchup. And showing that we have a killer is like really rough. Because now they can make educated decisions on what they ice up and what they're going to spend their surprise ability use on. Card in server 1, advance. All right, so we got to run that a fair bit of time. Still not playing the current. That's good. I think we just run it, right? Like, they need 4 credits for this, 12 credits. They res 8 for a DNA tracker. Not that bad. They just want to keep this largely. This is our good card. Oh, it's a card. That's obnoxious. I'll break it. Let him use the resources. Hit us with a Cortex Lock. It doesn't kill us. This looks like more of a rush deck. Now Excalibur and Mother Goddess are now both restricted. Excalibur's the new one to that list. So they can use their ability here. Which if it doesn't hard end the run, we could still have a chance of inside jobbing back in if it's just a net damage ice. If they use the Nisei token on this, that is. So, just an NGO front. We still get a successful run with Paragon, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, we don't really want that. I don't think we want that. So far, we haven't seen any big ice. We want breakers more than we want shutdown. Can't bypass guard. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, we can't inside job this. They have the tech. Oh man, this card has text on it. That's wild. Yep, that's a good point. Let's just keep our money up. We're gonna draw into our breakers. We can only hope. We know our multi-X is at the bottom. Just realized. So we can't fem it, but you can always break it with fem. Store the money there. Yeah, I guess we can get this down. Feels bad. Oh, didn't hear before? Netrunner, I haven't experienced the constructed meta. So far, I've been only playing like single core set experience, and it's been pretty fun. I'm playing system core only, it's been super fun. Yeah, I feel the same way as Cody. Oh, we probably wanted to run HQ there, but we really need to get a Fem or Mimic down. Alright, so if we inside job this, it just stops and they don't have to res another piece of ice. Data Suck is pretty good. On advanced card, I don't know if we have to rush it, but like our deck is way behind power curve to their deck. That's an issue. Also, why are they playing this? Is it tempo motion? That's wild. Unless they are actually running traps. Having the bank job pre-installed actually would have been pretty good that last turn where we installed and hit the bank Paragon. It's like a cool counter to NGO front. And that probably would be better than installing the Armitage. That being said, we don't have a lot of good liquidity here. I feel like we might want to pressure them, but I want them to res ice on HQ before we install the Snake Door beta. So I'm tempted to go right now. Like this with my face. They did Rashida last turn, so there's a chance there's multiple agendas in here. Oh, just rush ice. Seems like we shouldn't be scared of the ice. Mushin is amazing tempo card. 100% it is. It's 7 clicks for values of 2 clicks. It totally is, but it's hard to play besides turn 1. So we're gonna hit this ice. It's just a border control. Makes sense. That's why they're playing timely public release. This gives them what credit back, whatever. They spent one of their best ice on archives. Feels good. Also means they probably have agendas in there. But like that's a really big deal. And another big reason why we're not gonna play John Masanori in this matchup. Whoa, is that Flotic? What is that? Oh, 2 into a current? That's an issue. Oh, it's an NGO front. Okay, that's fine. All right, so we have no way to get through this, so we're gonna go find a way. We're gonna diesel into an Abagnale, which we did. We're gonna install it in the optimal order. Oh, we can't run. Oh man. This is fine. Don't want that guy. Too much of a liability. So 2 NGO fronts out. Current is on the table, so we really want to like find something. We still don't have 2 breaker types. We might just be rushed out. Like that's kind of the thing here is they have a lot of good card draw, a lot of good money, and they're just playing end the run ice, and just the ability to find our breakers is going to be kind of difficult because we only have 2 inside jobs or 2 special orders, so we might just lose here. Y'all got GNK kits lined up? We do. In Montreal, we do. I think December 1st is our first GNK kit. Find a breaker. No, you didn't. Well, you tried. That's what's important. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we do here. Spend 2 clicks to run R&D doesn't seem right. How much you bet I'm gonna click for credit while amortize is down? They can move it to HQ. With Thimblerig, there's no wrong server. Oh yeah, they can switch these for sure, but they haven't been, which is wild. They definitely should. We have this. Like, this should be here. Why are we running this? We should be running HQ. I forgot we had this down. We should be running HQ, not R&D. Yeah, they should have swapped this onto HQ once we've installed this. I thought Easy Mark was the old special order alt for a second. I love the old special order art, but the new one's fine too. Few stores have bought up, so we will still be going after, but the tryhards are going to Magic and other games. Oh, that's about SF area. That's Cody. So they can install a card from hand if they want here. This looks like it's going to be another Nisei, which is, I would say, a problem. The thing is, if they install their ice here, we could like run HQ. Ideally, we'd have a legwork in hand, which we don't. But if they have an agenda in hand, it's much easier to find after they go down to 1 and 5 to 1 and 4 after putting an ice on R&D. Now, if they have trash program subroutines, if they're doing real rush stuff and play Rototurret, it's going to be... you can't do that. Oh, that doesn't work. Oh, that doesn't work. So border control only fires on the server that's installed on. So that's probably why they weren't moving it around. Let's undo that click. So maybe they don't have ice in hand. I don't know. Yeah, so they definitely want to move that around. If this was any server, yeah, it'd be straight busted. So Paragon, okay. Maker's Eye. No, we probably want that. No, we want breakers. Ooh, Sadaka. That'll trash Caddy Jones. No way to deal with that. There's no Crypsis in this deck. Could it be a paper trail? Really doubt it. Let's see if they install here. Oh, it's all good. So this gives us credits. And assume they'll install a really bad piece of ice here. We don't add a Cortex lock anymore. And we just can't contest this. If we inside Jabba, they res nothing and it ends the run. Let alone we have to run this twice. If they score 2 Niseis, I think we flat out lose. Maybe it's just another public timely release. There's a chance it won't let him fire the ability. Oh, when you undo click, it will. We'll continue. So let's see. It's a Himitsu Baku. All right, just end the run ice, which is going to be a huge problem for us. So we can click this for 3 or we can play Gamble. I'm just going to play Gamble because otherwise we throw out cards. Oh, that's not right. We throw this guy out. So if we draw Maker's Eye, they consider using one of their Niseis, which they now have 2. I'm assuming it's a Nisei considering that they have 2 NGO fronts out. It's unlikely to be a trap. So they can consider repositioning their ice now. Yeah, it looks like if we just have breakers, I don't know what else they can do. They just have like cheap end runs. Oh, it's a timely public release. So this is a new card I've never seen him play yet. It says install a piece of ice from HQ archives in any position, ignoring all costs. They still have to res it, but with cards like border control, it's like another Nisei token. So now we have 2 Nisei tokens to deal with. I think no matter what, first click will run R&D. We do know there's a Maker's Eye there, and if they actually use their Maker's Eye with a Nisei, it's pretty bad. Now, the cool thing about Himitsu Baku in this matchup, if our opponent is savvy, is say we draw once and then Maker's Eye, they can just pull the Himitsu Baku to hand and then install it with Matima Kuno and R&D, so we just can't get through it, which is obviously a huge issue. So, like, that's a really cool inclusion in Matima Kundo deck. So we just need to find our breakers. I think we'll run with Paragon first, and if they let us go through, we'll bottom the Maker's Eye, because we need a Corroder before we can possibly get through this. This is 2 clicks, which is fucking brutal. That's a lot of cat emojis. I didn't know there was that many. They can also just install another card from hand, which is fine. Oh, it's Sadaka. It's not fine. Holy shit. Actually, oops. They're just going to spend 2 clicks to make him install on the Sadaka and R&D. That's a mistake. Oh, we've already committed to it though. The install will jack out. Yeah, because the Sadaka trashes our caddy, which is I'd consider a problem. Yeah, this is real bad. We just wasted 2 clicks and a credit. Seems bad. So they'll install it, we'll jack out. We can't hit a Sadaka. Yeah, we're gonna jack out. Yep. Yep. Forgot what you drew. Great. We'll draw the Maker's Eye, which we can't really play. We gotta take money off of caddy soon. Of course we're not. We're just gonna play extra gamble. Great. Team Cat, Team Balder. Okay, so we need to contest. There's no border control in the archives, and they can trash this only during a run on the server, so it's not going to get into archives anytime soon, but we have to be able to run this twice, which actually might not be that difficult as long as we have... We still need a barrier breaker, and we still need a sentry breaker, so we almost definitely lose here. We draw. We still need sentry break draw. There's not enough clicks. Okay, I think we're gonna play they're gonna play the Mimic and inside job that server. I guess they just used Nisei Mark II anyways, so we probably lose unless an NGO front. So whatever, we lost. A couple clicks too late. That's GG. They just used the Nisei token and score a 5-3 out. Oh, it's a border control. Okay, they don't even need to. Hey, good game. Yeah, we got rushed out. It's inside job, yeah, but they got a Nisei token, so it's fine. They can also trash this and reinstall it. It doesn't work. Oh. Okay. It's an NGO front. That's fine. Okay. Still in it. Thing is, they gotta trash this and then it gets reinstalled. Like, we gotta get through 3 Nisei tokens and a current. We're just not equipped for that. I don't... Okay, so that's all their NGO fronts. So we just inside job. Oh, we inside job that remote. Wait, hold on. What? Wait. Oh. I jack out. It changes nothing. Actually, that worked out for us. So we just don't have enough clicks. We literally just don't have enough clicks. Break this for 2. They need 3 credits. So you spend 7 on this. Oh, actually, maybe we're short on credits. We might be short on credits. 2, 3. Yeah, we're 1 short on credits. Oh, Paragon might... No, Paragon doesn't fire. We're 1 credit short. We should have inside job there. We're 1 credit short here. Because we have to run through this. We have to break both subroutines, so that puts us onto 3. Then we have to break this, puts us on 2. Now we need 3 more credits to get back through it. So we can't get... We need to run this server 3 times anyways. So that's game. Yeah, totally. Yeah, we can't. So we can't run that to win. So we can consider running HQ. And somehow stealing a 6 point. You should run R&D. If there's a government takeover on top, you win. Yeah, right? Like, I think Maker's Eye is technically the play here. Yeah, I don't. There's no winning play. They can just stop this. It's fine. Benny, good morning over there. How's it going, Benny? Welcome. I don't recognize that name. Good morning, wherever you're at. Play to your outs. Yeah, we just don't have enough accesses. There's no outs when we have that few clicks left and they have both of these. Like, we literally can't access servers. I don't care if this is a Sadaka. It's not a Sadaka. Okay. Play to your outs as a drink. We just don't have outs in this matchup. Like, this shouldn't go through. Okay, so we have to run this and then through it again while we have no money. No. The good recourse to this is siphon, though. Like, this is when you siphon them, which we don't have in this deck at all. Man, this costs 4 to get to? No, 3 to get to? Denmark, Europe, it's 5, so just an early start. Hey, that's a good morning. You're starting early. Real keen. Hopefully you have a good Friday, huh? You later cannot make a successful run since day 4 ETRFX. Yeah, no, we're fucked. That's game. GG. I shouldn't spend that long on last time. Would you go so far as to say you just lose? Yeah, we just lose. You don't draw your breakers, you're not gonna win. Maybe they're not. Oh, a bacterial. Whoa, that's a wild card. Is this a limited format? Is this a limited format deck? It's probably not. Hey, thanks, you too. Yeah, that game just largely came down, like, you don't need a lot of money, you just need all your breakers. So how do we fuck that up? No, it's all good. Not a big deal at all. So like it largely came down to like us filtering our draws as efficiently as possible. So we're short credits. Like we still have to run this. If we could run this, if we had one more credit, we'd actually be able to run this enough times, which like this one didn't fuck this up. Installing this instead of clicking for credit was wrong. Because if we run this, so we have to break through this, which is fine, and then they need it. Then we break through it again. It's just fine, the border control. And then I guess we have to run one more time, but if they reinstall the border control, so we were 2 credits short. If they reinstall the border control, they can't score the agenda, so it buys us a turn. That was the best we could do. Maybe Splurge is unpunitive. They could be unpunitive, but their deck doesn't have any money. Like, they literally don't have any money. I think they just want to go fast and find their nieces as fast as possible. Oh, no way. It's really cool here. Yeah, this is not an archetype you see a lot, but like a really rush-heavy Mati Makundo deck. And Mati decks now, this is a restricted identity, so they have to change to some extent. I don't think heavily. So like knowing that all we need is our breakers, and you saw in the early game, like we didn't face check because we were scared of like Cortex Lock and like Anansi and stuff. Actually didn't really hold up. What's left in our deck that's a good draw? Very little. Legworks would be good. Crowder is definitely better than the one that we installed, but it's a 1-of in the deck. Special Orders would have been good. We have 2 of those somewhere near the bottom, and just a bit more interactive money. Like Dirty Laundry should be good as much as it is hard against a Nisei token, but I don't think they'd use them. So I don't even think we could have drawn that much better. No Obokata? Yeah. Oh, that's true. Obokata's restricted. Yeah. That's maybe why they're on Bacterial, because they can't play food and they can't play Obokata. So I think maybe even a better option could be SSL, but I don't know their deck, so who knows. Put Siphon in this. Yeah, maybe we should just tune it a slight bit. Maybe we can. It's like really easy to make this deck a bit better by just having more of the card pool, which is maybe that sentence isn't worth saying, but like it's you don't have to mess with the core of the game. Ooh, traces. So it makes you not want to play John, huh? This hand's actually really good. I'm gonna play John. Yeah, I would consider changing it, right? Dagonbane, how's it going? Why are you playing core experience against standard decks? I didn't label my lobby. I was fine regardless. I think if it was a more Glacier deck, we honestly would have been fine. They kind of go a bit slower, and we did have stuff. But I'm playing single core against, like, whatever. I don't mind. Yeah, this is hands worth keeping. We got money. We got multi-access, John. They kept their hand. John and Dirty Laundry is good. Now Sea-Source is scary. But we'll try this. Caddy's also really scary in a Sea-Source deck. They can come across the table and touch her. And destroy her. When you say siphon, you mean diversion of funds? Yeah, totally. That's just kind of like a holdover from the old days where we just diversion of funds doesn't sound anywhere near as good, let alone it's too many syllables as opposed to siphon, which is 2 syllables that have a lot of meaning to a lot of Netrunner players. They didn't ice HQ. Ooh, they didn't ice HQ. What's with that? We're Gabe. We run HQ. What is this either? I don't know. I'll play. This is a fucking liability if we've ever heard one, but we're gonna make 5 credits on doing this. Hey Shazner, thanks for the game. Red herrings. Yeah, we generally want to trash that. We're gonna gain 7. This is probably a pad. Again, we don't know if they're playing single core. I don't want to label my room that just because there's not a lot of games. Oh, that's actually more games than there used to be a couple minutes ago. Money matters if they want to C-source us, but they're just C-sourcing John. We could check this, but it doesn't really matter that much. We can install Armitage and take it, which puts us up at, it's like clicking for a credit, but losing a click. That's probably fine. We can play standard. Also, hey, Nail, or Apathy. Sorry, I have to drop into a post-turkey coma now. Good night, Andre stream. Good night, good friends. Hey, Apathy, thanks so much for dropping by. Enjoy your well-rested turkey sleep. Enjoy your week, huh? Oh, Shazner, yeah, looks like you can't post links on YouTube. It just blocks them automatically. I don't know if there's a good way around that. Maybe just type the number that's associated with your deck list number, and we'll see if we can pull it up. But YouTube does block things. Ooh, marked accounts. That's a slow card. It gives us good bank job targets for the rest of the game. They just iced HQ. No idea what the ice is, but I don't want to find out unless we can break it. Like a Data Raven would be really bad because it gives us a John Masnori tag, and I don't love that. So we'll just run Archives, I guess. Draws us a card. No, that's not good. That's actually not good. Because then we just open to C-Source for no reason. So we're not going to run unless we get value. We can play this and hit Earthrise Armitage twice. Seems good. They're not doing anything really quickly, so neither will we. Thank you. Yeah, perfect, Jasner. Empty Mitty deck that beat on. Oh man. Let's see what we got. Seemed interesting. Man, what is a deck list that have callouts on them? Do really well online. So this gives them money. It's real slow. It's like Pad Campaign, but the numbers aren't better because it's credit positive in 2 clicks. It's like the Caddy Jones. All right, so that made sense. We saw that. Otherwise, man, one of it in the deck. Found it. What's with the Mushin? That's what I didn't understand. Also, 1 guard. Whoa, Sandstorm. I guess yeah. Sandstorm is like another Nisei token. That's interesting. This card I don't see at all. I never see this card, and I don't understand the Mushin. Or the product line is like what for Niseis? Fast Track's good. All right, don't know what that is. Could just be the Naked Beal. We got Armitage. Get some good stuff. It's all about rush. I could see that. I could see that pretty good. But there's some cards that are not rush. Like Preemptive is anti-rush. Mushin is like only turn 1 rush. Reverse Infection is the farthest from rush. Maybe not. This card's interesting. I like this card a fair bit. Himitsu Baku Mati is cool. Okay, what do we want to do now? We can check what this is and draw a card at the same time. Seems fair. Let's go. I like Code Marvis Cat. Is that a cat emote? Daily Business Show. We generally want to trash that. If we trash that, then it puts us below threshold to install the Liberated. So I'm going to let them res it and get 1 fire off of it before we go deal with it. We want to install this and just like kind of hit it up. We're going to flood up with cards. And they're probably on most of the Trace Ice, which looks like Caduceus a lot of the times in this limited format if they are playing single core. So face checking with the fairy is probably okay. The antes for Amakua. If you want to do that, you might be better off with Cyberdeck's Virus Suite. Mushin plus Baka lets me move with 2 ice over. How does that work? So you Mushin, you... Yeah, but it's not good ice. Right? Like, Baku is bad as of, like, turn 3 against most constructed decks. But I see what you're doing. Viper's not part of core. Also, how's it going, puppy? It did not make it back. I think we can play this. We can check. We're going to overdraw, but a lot of our stuff is chaff. And this is probably, like, pad campaigns and other marked accounts, I think, is the core set. Explodapalooza. That's cool. They want to leverage that credit differential. Find out what this is. Not a lot of traps. Could be a snare. Pad campaign, that's fine. So we just want to make as much money so we're away from the C source. So we're going to hit that button. What do we not need? This actually looks really good. I want to check HQ soon. We have a pretty good amount of money here. But another Armitage definitely will do well because they do have a fair bit of money. But I like the other one better. Fairy's pretty good for face checking. This is pretty good. They do have wraparound and wall static probably. This lines up well with one of them. Actually, largely neither of them. Oh, I think if they're plugging naked, the legwork's probably better than the makers. We'll diversify. One of each. Can you explain? Are you unable to change the format on JNet? Why? When I tried, that was an option. Oh, totally you can. I just decided not to on the basis that there weren't a lot of games tonight, and I was worried if I did a more like probably not as common format that we wouldn't play against. We might be waiting longer for a game, so I don't mind playing against like a standard format deck with a single core. But you Dagon, you're totally right. Dagon and Bane. I said it wrong last time. You totally can. They have a lot of money. Well, bank job's good. Fem's good too. We can fem this ice and start going. We can fem both Data Raven and Toll Booth, pretty good ice that you're going to see in an NBN deck. I think we also want to trash this. So I think our turn is bank job. Trash this legit. Then take the bank job off. We actually don't even need to do that in the order. Let's go see what we draw off of our friend. Dumbass. That's exactly the draw you want. Because now we can do a really impressive run here. We also probably want to trash these sometime soon. The thing is, we don't want to do them when we're weak to C-Source. C-Source in the close accounts would be game losing. And once we have more money than them, we can consider start trashing these, because this is where a lot of their money is coming in right now. So far, they've played 2 econ cards, and they probably have 1 more of these and 2 IPO, and then it's only assets and maybe product placement. I don't know. I'll play this because it's cheap. Think anyone's going to deal with Marcus Batty rig shooting? It seems pretty good right now. It really does. You have to play dummy box and recursion, which is not that difficult. Clone chip is pretty cool now, but I think that's totally a legitimate archetype. My original deck had Mother Goddess with only border control and Bako as the only standard subtype ice. Just let me bounce Bako up to hand to remove the barrier sub. Unfortunately, Matisse got added to ML11 for good reasons. Shazner, have you tried maybe play some big ice in your deck and consider, maybe just consider trying Oversight AI? Or, I don't know. The other one, what's it called? The one that warps ice? I think that's fun. It's Dagon on Bane. Got it. Oh, okay. Dota reference. That makes sense. I'll see you playing Artifact next week, huh? All right, they're jamming the remote. We could go check that. It could be a Beal unadvanced. I don't care if they score a Beal. I want to pressure HQ to see where we can fam intelligently. We get 2 credits and a card. Mind you, there's a lot of things they could res here. It'd probably be best to put a Damara down first so we just don't bonk off a barrier. It looks like they're letting us into the snares in hand. Sea Source. Oh, we got a barrier breaker. That's always good to see. Now we just need a Koge breaker. We have the full suite. Not a lot of ice destruction or program destruction in this format. Besides, we also don't want to hit an Enigma here, because then we lose a click and end their untagged, and then they can just wipe our board, let alone close our accounts, which they probably definitely have. And we know they're on the Sea Source, which is kind of scary. And our card draw has just closed, so we need to be drawing manually, and I don't think we're going to need this anymore, so we'll draw once. That's not a bad hit. And I think we'll take... It's actually probably better to leave a liberated accounts on the table. If they do end up Sea Source closing our accounts, we can always click for 4, which is pretty good. We have more money than them, so Armitage is probably good enough. They have program destruction, keeping the Damara would be good, because we only have 2 barrier breakers, but fuck it. Overstate AI might work. Now that's back in, right? I tried Big Ice once, but the economy doesn't really support it. Yeah, you need to cheat it out, but yeah, you're right. The economy doesn't support it, and you need to get good draw. But like, if you're playing tutor draw with bacterial reprogramming and like localized product line, you could go for Chiashi Overstate AI, and it's honestly kind of fun. Okay, so they spent 3 credits on that. We could have maybe ran this. We're going to keep running HQ and maybe running R&D if they don't res. Again, Enigma is the worst case scenario, which we take a tag and lose a click. It's a toll booth, so we definitely fem that. So we're going to lose 3. Jack out. So we know to fem that, which is really good. So we're going to remove the tag. We're going to fem it. So now we just deal with Raven and then run last click. Oh, we could consider legworking, actually. Ash. We'll probably have more money than them. That being said, if we hit this, we go down to 10, so they could Sea Source, but it's all their money. I'm fine with that, though. Ash is probably how they win. Oh, they're going to have more, right? Because they have 15, so oops. So the Sea Source isn't even that hard. Oh, yeah, they have 2 free credits on this. The Sea Source actually could be kind of bad, but they're going to have to wipe everything. Sea Source is closed accounts into wipe with one of these, but they're going to spend a fair bit of credits on it, so it's probably not that bad. That was a bit YOLO for sure. Like, I didn't want to spend any more money after paying 9 for Fem. Let's go find another bank job. Oh, okay, cool. We live. So this is always credits a positive. We have almost all our breakers. We want to check what this is to get a free card draw, hit that snare, and then just keep going through our deck. John Masonry, hell of a card. Oh, it was a DBS. They rezzed it. Not sure why. Unless we have Queen's Gambit in our deck, which we don't. Oh, they had some misclick. That's fine. Consider legworking. I don't think they have a lot in hand to do that, so we could probably just want to set up with liberated accounts. We want to trash that sometime soon, but we want to make sure our money is good first. We saw this, we go down to 4. Yeah, it's probably okay. Yeah, we want to slowly trash these because they're running out of economy cards, and this is giving them too much money. I don't think we have Scrubber in this deck. No, we don't. So it's actually going to be a bit difficult. And Caddy is a bit of a liability to have all your money on one card against a deck that has such Sea Source value. And a deck which we're going to try to run every turn with all these open remotes and John. Hopefully we find a Paragon too, which would be like pretty big. That's our daily business show, right? And we found both liberated, so mind you, it's only a 2-up. I think the Proco hostage version of this deck is probably reasonable too, because you see when I don't have Earthrise, I just don't draw because I don't like it. Another easy inclusion into this sorted deck is just Symmetrical Visage, a card that's actually going to rotate too soon. All right, so we have no code decoder. That's the other Beal. Oh, could be Exploda, could be a Paper Trail. Could just inside job it, and then they have to res 2 code gates in a row. Seems unlikely that they can do that. They could res an Archer, which would be pretty bad, which makes us want to do this first. Let's see if they have 2 code gates. And they don't have any in-faction code gates that end the run. Besides Toll Booth. So, alright, we bypass the Raven. That's the best case scenario. And now it's an Enigma. Oh, fuck me. Alright, so they're down to 1 credit, though. They'll get 2-3, that's fine. So we're going to jack out, lose 3, take a tag. Seems bad. We'll just run HQ. Because it gains us a credit, and it draws us a card. Baby is in core? No, it's not. Psychographics, good to know. No, it's not. That's crazy. It's not in core. No, it's not. No, it's not. Nice try. They only need 1 code gate. No, they need 2 because we're going to inside job it. Oh, yeah, no, you're totally right. Oh, man, the value. It depends on the positioning. No, they need 2 in some circumstances. Okay, so this is trace 8. That's value. So it looks like John Messner is dead. He's done good. Alright, so now they've gone down to 0 credits. It's the perfect time for us to trash all of this stuff. We're losing our John draw again. Paragon would have been so good. Maybe we'll just try and cheese out the Maker's Eye here. Hitting Explodo would be really bad, but I think they only have 1 of them in deck. This is the good time to trash this one. This card's really good in the format. It's really exciting too. Card from deck, let's go. Pad campaign, it's fine. If we hit a product placement here, it's also kind of bad. Wrap around, that's fine. And priority requisition, that's the big one. So now we're on game point. We could win off a single HQ run. Still want to draw into my answers. Sneak Dart Beta is not that worth it by any means. We want to run HQ 1 click, so I think we're just going to hit this and run HQ. Actually, hitting Earth or Easy Mark is probably even better. And so we know the next 2 cards, which is really good because that means if we don't trash this, next turn we're going to stay a fresh card because they draw through those 2. So we're going to run HQ to gain a credit because we pay 1 to bypass and then 2 more from Gabe. And we need to find a way to get through this. It's either, I think we only have 1 fem. So it's largely either find our Abagnale and bypass it after paying 3 credits or Spearfishing, which isn't in this deck. So it's going to be very difficult to draw. We win. Should have legwork there, actually. I think we knew C-Source and Psychographics, so I didn't love the legwork, but that does it. All right, they went into 0. Generally not a great thing to do against a run-heavy criminal, but they had open remotes, so it's not even that big of a deal. Coming back to stream. I see you there. All right, cool. Fundamentals. Let's do one more. Runner. Yeah, there was a drop down there. Hey, Celestial from YouTube. How's it going? All right, Ag Infusion. Oh, man. Career Fair into Earthrise is cool, but we generally want some way to pressure remotes early, and Ag Infusion is pretty good. Some people might be switching their Mati decks just to Ag Infusion. Thanks, you too. But we are definitely disadvantaged. They're probably Glacier. We want Caddy in our opening. Let's go hit that button. That worked out poorly for us. This is a poor person's Career Fair. Well, let's go. Ice up HQ. Do we hit it with our face? Hell yeah, we do. Our face is expendable, just like the credits are. Gotta get into HQ. It's all we know. We're criminal. You see that skull? It means, oh, they drew second click. Gonna call them out on that. Always a mistake. And ice and remote. Actually, this is a mistake too, right? Because if we run R&D, well, not 100% of the time, but maybe in this format where you expect bank job, because we can run HQ, and if they res this and go down to 1 credit, we can install bank job, run this remote. And they have to res here, right? Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. This is acceptable. Doesn't end the run. Does help them with their HQ flood so they can bury agendas if they have them. It forces them to shuffle, which is cool. So we can run R&D, hit this, run R&D. They also res the innermost on the HQ, so any pressure runs they can't avoid. So this is actually abusable. Like we run R&D, run HQ, run R&D. Like this is actually can be a liability because we can see a lot of fresh cards. Let's not just set up. Let's just have fun. preemptive. Okay. So now we run HQ again. They have to at least shuffle. So the top card of R&D is different. They can't fire snare on 3 credits. Now this might be helping them. Drawing a preemptive is actually really bad there. So maybe we didn't want to shuffle. Maybe we should have considered doing this too. But I just got carried away. Wow, game point is cool. We died a fetal. Fuck it. They're a trap deck. Oops, like what you found. Good game. Hey, Ezra, thanks for the game. Man, yeah, C-Source is scary. I don't know how we play around that. We just keep our money up. But yeah, the Maker's Eye, we got on the 3rd card down, which is pretty fortunate for us. All right, icing that up. We can still just smash HQ over and over again. I'm going to do that first click unless we draw into Dirty Laundry. Fucking magical. They can fire snare now, and they're on, like, they seem to be a trap deck, and it'd be kind of dumb to die on 7 points, so 5 points. It'd be fine to die on 7 points. I think we can set up into a career fair. This is 4, this is 5, 6, which means we can't Dirty Laundry. We need to run HQ here. We'll die to snare, it's fine. Just don't die to snare. This happens a lot because I do vocally explain what I'm drawing into, which makes us look like we're like just gods at top decking stuff. But that's a really big thing, is if you know it in your deck, decide whether you want to draw first so you can look really cool on the internet. Self-destruct. All right. We have a game. All right, they're cool. That's a good card. And we died to double neural. Or should have just the money. I call hacks. Oh man, this is great. So they could be playing cards that do damage. Obviously net damage ice is a really big deal, but also things like data loop. I've tried this before. While we're running with 1 card in hand, this is actually pretty scary, but we do have the credit advantage. It'd be more of a game if I didn't have 4 gens and top 6 cards. You just shuffle them away. Stall, advance. Could be Obakata, could be Junebug. Honestly, probably looks like an NGO front considering they're on 2 credits, so they can't really score it if it's a 5-3. Could just be a Nisei, but we're so far ahead at this point that we can just set up. This gives us more money faster. That seems good. I definitely want to run HQ, but not die to snare, so we're going to do a first click. And we actually could make the shuffle, but I'm pretty sure this is an NGO, so they can res 10 credits worth of ice, which we die to Chiashi, which costs 11. Reverse to count. That's a pain in the ass. Don't want that. Oh. I was like, wow, we could have played Gamble first. It's better to have cards in hand. I'll take 4 credits off Liberty account. It's not expecting them to trash our resources anytime soon. If you do, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's an NGO front. Again, like the worst time to do install advance is when you're on 2 credits left over because there's no real threat at that point going forward. We have the Fem, we have the Paragon. I think we do want to maybe Paragon Archives. The filtered draw here is really good when we're going to be drawing from Earthrise. That's all I have to say, really. It doesn't get better or worse. So that 1 card in hand, they can shuffle it away, though. This is like clicking for a credit. This is maybe not worth it. Yeah, we don't want to draw that right now. We could do Caddy. Yeah, we can hold on for a long game. Not at all necessary. We do have the Fem. You can Fem Miraju, which is kind of cute, but it's honestly not that problematic. The bad part about this is like femming face down ice, because remember, they are Ag Infusion. They can trash their face down ice, so femming a face down ice seems like a really bad call. Getting the Fem on the table too is cool though, because we can rake Anansi, which they can now res. Single advance, probably Rashida. That's generally what that looks like. If they inside job any server with unres dice, they can always bounce it, which is pretty bad for us. I think we might just want to play the Corroder. Click 3. Running Archives. What else do we do on this turn? Like, we're going to be drawing once. Do we want to run Archives first? It's not necessary. If we had John, this would be a lot easier. But John's also kind of a liability with Ag Infusion. That being said, they only put us on another remote. No. That's what we have. We have a whole breaker suite. Let's just get money. So we can draw. Store. I'd rather have cards in hand to protect for Obakatas. Inside job is totally fine here. It's not that good because they could bounce us, but then we could run again. The thing is, like, this is probably Rashida. I want to inside job a remote with ice on it, like with advanced cards in it. That being said, we know they're on a bunch of stuff. It also could just be like a self-destruct, which would be wild, and that actually is a bad play into self-destruct. They have no res dice to hit you with. It's unres dice. Oh, I see what you mean. They can put us on another server and we run again. Yeah, but I don't know. I just don't want to die because they can kill us. Maybe that's what they do. They put us on another server and self-destruct that server. They just put a naked self-destruct. Let's just get money. Do we want to run archives? How good is that scry? A credit and a scry. Is that worth a click? I think so. Not wanting to die is a good reason for caution. It's one of the better ones. I think we just draw. I don't want to scry. I think we have enough money. We probably don't need that. Let's start showing we have breakers. I'll play the cheapest one first. The in-faction barriers are the worst in Jiteki. All they have is Himitsu Baku. And I want cards in hand more than I want anything else because Obokata. Alright. Defensive upgrades, huh? Oh. 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 Oh, it was game the whole time. We didn't know. Whoops. That's a one of in the deck. It's fine. We lost our Abigail. That's the worst. We have 2 more. That's good. Let's draw. Don't say I told you so. Envelope is all right, but that's yeah, because they're not playing this. Sorry, I thought they were playing like the limited format, but clearly they're not. They're playing Bag Infusion. So we can always just like a special order for the Abigail, but we can also just draw it. This seems really good. I'm gonna do that because it only costs us 2 credits and it gets us an access. Snare would be bad here. I don't think so. Yeah, we just don't have to deal with that. Caddy's a good woman, strong, independent, smart. Yeah, she's real hard worker. That's really important. So they're playing a lot of Invincible traps, so I'm assuming Mushin's in this deck. Now, Mushin reversed accounts, you still have to protect it for a turn. They have Kagu as well, not insignificant. Oh yeah, 100%. I just totally assumed that they were on a limited format because I am. So, my bad. We know the top card is Mimic, so we'll draw first, and now we'll lose it to Snare. If we lose both of those, we're kind of in a shit creek. No, I actually do like Fairy a fair bit. Oh. Why didn't they ice that up? GG. Why didn't they ice Archives up? Any ice in hand? Like, I could have just ran HQ 4 times that turn. Ouch. Maybe they jam. I don't know. But having that in hand while we have a Sneak Door seems bad. For them. Not like a bad play, just like it's unfortunate. Ooh, damn, I'm good. 1 in 5 chance there. Yeah, we might have ran it twice. The thing is, like, they're looking like they had a remote. They might have just wanted to jam. They did hit our Abigail, so it looked like they could have rushed in if they had a code gate. I hope they didn't take that too poorly. Damn, I'm good. Oh boy. Can we make this Gabe standard? We could. I just don't think I have time this evening. Holy shit, what was that? Sound like a fridge fell over. Oh fuck. Hey Spark, thanks for the game. Oh, that was really loud. Wow. That might be something we want to look into next week. For now, it's about 11:40ish. I got a long day tomorrow, so I think I'm gonna call it an evening. Again, one more time, my friend Matt from New York is giving away some cards. So if you want to be entered into a raffle, you just have to pay for shipping. Just throw your name into the comments. Make a comment on YouTube on the video, not in the chat. So it'll be permanent or like easily accessibly permanent. I think that the chat still runs when you watch the VOD. And say what your happy rotated or soon to rotate card is, your most favorite one, your favoritist even. And we'll pick a raffle winner next week. Didn't hear a thing. Yeah, it was really loud, let me tell you. That's my typical corp luck, 10 points in hand before first click. Ah, dang. Yeah, I assume you had a lot of agendas in hand, Spark, because we were running through the Miraju, which Miraju on HQ is obviously like, it's actually kind of a liability. I know you want something for Gabe, but like I guess it helps you with your flood. But like I was gonna run R&D, run HQ to force you to shuffle, run R&D, run HQ. You know, that'd be fun. Anyways, yeah, enter that raffle if you want in on that. We'll pull someone next week. Otherwise, a lot of big changes. We talked about a lot of them. We spent a lot of time talking, which is actually really fun. There's a lot to always talk about this game. Another thing worth noting is the most wanted list did change. I guess really quickly, Brian Stinson is on it. Hired Help is on it, which is no surprise. We knew that was going to happen. And there's some new restricted cards like Excalibur and Mati Mukundo, and I think that's it. And then other things were banned, like Watch the World Burn, no surprise. And then we restricted Paperclip, which is pretty cool. That's literally it for me. For all those who are having Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your long weekend. A lot of people have tomorrow off in Canada. I got a really busy day tomorrow. I got a couple of videos I need to finish. Yeah, I think that's it. December 1st, we got GNK here in Montreal at a game store that hasn't had a tournament in a long time. So that's going to be fun. That's in a couple weeks. And in 2 weeks, Pat's here. I think that's all the news. About to play some games with the fam. Have a good night, y'all. Enjoy it. Enjoy your long weekends. Enjoy your yeah, it's a long weekend, right? Have fun, huh? Good night. Rebirth out. Cheers. Thanks so much for dropping by. Thanks to all the people we played games against. And we'll see you around. Doing that really cool interrupted humor thing I really like.